Ahoy, landlubbers, it's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. And welcome back to me, I guess. It's been... basically, we had a week off, which somehow translates to it's been 2 weeks since we played Disco Elysium, even though that math doesn't sound like it checks out. But if I knew how math worked, I'd probably be able to roll more than a 4 on 2d6. Is that how math works? You know what? Just forget I brought it up, because I clearly don't know. I'm excited to get back into it. At the end of our last stream, before my birthday vacation break, we dived pretty deep into the storyline at the Church of Dolores Day, I want to say, spelled differently. And surprisingly, it wasn't a spiritual experience in a sense, it was rather a scientific endeavor. There was a programmer who tried to, essentially upload a backup of a video game she was working on to the cloud, and found a spatial anomaly that destroys all reality. But it's very small, so we're fine for now. It appears to be located somewhere at the top of the church, somewhere up in the territory of the Crabman, who likes to crawl around up there. But after going through a bunch of hoops and getting the information she required to run a test on said information, we managed to determine with a successful check that the reason we still didn't find any results to resolve her problem is because she needed better sound equipment. And who better to provide better sound equipment than Egghead and the two other guys, whose names I don't remember, because Egghead's the important one, we all know this. Basically, it's a group of 4 teenagers with attitude hanging out in a tent in a occasionally deserted, occasionally beach-related wasteland, trying to find a new sound and then to establish something of a religion of music with what I like to refer to as the new sound. Now, we haven't completed our quest to find the new sound. We do have a thought that we can't fire off just yet because we've been really busy trying to sober up, for better or for worse. It's a whole, 24-hour thought on that or something. I think we're down to, 7 or 8 hours, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. But in the meantime, we got a few things to do. Got to check out what we can do to set up the church as a dance club, which, first we'll finagle the completion of this scientific experiment. I think one will lead to the other. And then we gotta get those boots off the corpse before we have Kim drive the body of the victim to the morgue for processing. And we can go talk to... oh gosh, what's her name? Classia? The lady who I suspect is being the third of the 3 mercenaries. To ask her about what I was doing before I woke in my present form as Tequila Sunset, aka Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau, aka definitely not Harriet Dubois. That took me a second. I think there was some other stuff we accomplished. I know that we passed a check to determine something about the bullet that we found in the victim, the hanging victim, because he was actually shot to death. We rolled boxcars and we managed to pass an impassable check to get inside of a shipping container, and we received $100 seed money, half of which I immediately spent on some nice sneakers. I think that covers all the important stuff. You know what I didn't do is check to make sure this was working correctly. I think this is the corner I want to live in. It's fine. Oh, no, but hold on. The game resized for reasons. Love doing this live. It shows a commitment to professionalism that I don't have. Just give me a second. Whee! It's fun to embellish, right? There we go. It's pretending it's the actual size for now. When I click the window, it might readjust. Do I need to fix that? Thinks it's okay. That's... oh, don't... nope. That's not the... I don't want that. How do I... How do I leave this wretched place? No, I don't want any of this. So glad that a misclick can cause the game to do whatever that is. I have a vague understanding of collage mode. I don't presently have any interest in it. That's all fine and good. Okay, let's load up the game. I had to load it up previously. I didn't remember to check the dimensions of the capture, though. That's on me. But when I started up, the game was doing that thing again. I mentioned a stream or two ago that the music audio was playing like way louder than it should have been, and for some reason, like messing with the audio settings didn't fix it. The audio settings just like weren't catching or something. But when I loaded the game and then went back to the main menu, it seemed to be fine. So we're reasonably late in day 4, which is Thursday. I got a couple things to do, as I already mentioned, when Kim leaves for the night. But in the meantime, let's go on. Did we do something to reset the empathy check over here?
Hello
Is this
again.
a thing? Nah, still locked. I might give that another chance today. We'll see how much time we have to fill. This game has like a weird progression of time. In that, like, during the day, there's no way to pass time, so you just have to keep doing stuff.
The large-headed youth has closed his eyes, lost in the music. Sensing you, he opens them.
Now, I'm going to admit that I really subconsciously clicked on Egghead because I do think of him as the most important one here, but I think I'm supposed to speak to this one. His name starts with an A. I don't think it's Andy. That sounds wrong.
Good morning! Yeah! Pump it up! Pump it up! Pump it up!
Did I always have an option to ask Egghead if he was a thought reader? That seems like a reasonable question to ask. Only in that I would like to know. Oh, Demolition, welcome to the stream. How's it going? I hope you had a good time with the family dinner. Ask him this. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for
No
it.
nation, but transnation. No war, but class war.
That sounds about right. Do you consider that to be a yes?
Don't be a lunatic. Of course he isn't. Jermaine here just yells random things. Odds are, sooner or later one of them will come off as fault reading.
Clarification. Jermaine?
Yeah, revolution imperative.
Unless you were thinking Revershaw imperative right now. Anyway, I've had a similar thing happen with eggs yelling. I know what you mean.
If I thought any particular good would come from lying about this, I would really do it. I just can't immediately think of a reason why I would do this. Because I don't even think Egghead wants to be perceived as a thought reader. It's just it would just be really funny if that was true. Well, Broside came over, literally just finished cleaning. That sounds like quite the event. How many people are on your brother's side? Is that like his family joined the family at your house, sort of thing? You're right, I was not thinking that.
Hardcore superstar.
Tell me something else, Egghead.
Yeah.
Is your real name Jermaine?
Hardcore. Jermaine Egghead.
Ah, Jermaine Egghead.
Basically, yes it is.
Thank you, Andre. Thank you. You know what? I'm gonna ask him about the lungs. I ignored this for a long time. But I know that the lungs are like a... What is the name for them? Is it innocence or something? Something like that. They're like religious figures in this world. There's something, their lungs glow, something. It's affiliated with the big stained glass thing in the church. It might help my check to something get them in the church.
Lungs are for love.
Love, compassion, and self-discipline.
Love! In a woman's lungs. Lonely as I am, I'm not afraid. This strange, damaged feeling grows on and on. Cause I've never loved someone like you before.
Someone write this down. I think it's lyrics.
Dopamine surge accompanies the words. It feels like electricity flowing down your scalp, dissipating into your neck. Feels good. like a spark of life in that moribund sponge you call your body.
Kind of surprised that I passed that check. Kind of surprised that it is an electrochemistry check to get that. All of that's irrelevant, though. Hey,
Hi
you there.
again. So, how are things going?
This is such a dumb... This is so stupid. I'm here to talk about the church again. I feel like this should be light red as opposed to the dark red of we already talked about it, but sure.
Yes? What's the deal?
Okay, good news. I managed to convince Suna. She's okay with you guys moving in, but on one condition. She needs your speakers for her project.
We are grateful, Copman. You're an augury of a new era of Nordic dance music.
I've said that for quite some time, and I'm glad that someone is finally acknowledging that I am, in fact, an augury of a new era of Nordic dance music. Gonna have to share space for a couple weeks until she gets her research fit.
That's fine. We can manage.
I'm glad I could
We
help.
appreciate it. It's going to take us a bit to move our stuff inside. A couple of hours, maybe. Come check back later. Let's get moving.
Leave the tent, I guess. I guess I left. Oh, the whole tent is gone. It looks really weird now. I hate it. I hate that it looks weird. Okay. Hey, I should zoom out. I think when I loaded the game, it made me zoom in really far. Or maybe it had to do with leaving the tent. I'm honestly not sure. Well, I guess I'm not, checking that check. What? I guess I'm not, retrying that empathy check, because she left too. It's implied that they're all moving stuff into the church. It's fine. Is there something back on this side? Just the seagulls, right? Yeah, for some reason, even though the land presumably continues over here to this other wheat field, I can't get there from here. It sure feels like I don't have much to do right now. I was kind of expecting that to go longer, but it makes sense that it didn't. So yeah, the next step doesn't happen until they've moved in, and that's not supposed to happen for hours, which frankly translates to probably tomorrow. I have the get signatures for Everard thing. I really want my gun, but I also don't want to, like, bother the pirate lady. Okay, murder weapon. Oh yeah, I gotta wash off the death smell. I forgot about that. I sure put, like, my whole upper body inside that guy's mouth. You heard me. I don't remember getting this particular quest. Get the whole story from Titus. That is... I have some kind of check with him, right? I don't remember if I've tried it now. How am I doing tonight? I'm doing pretty good. My parents are currently seeing, like a John Williams concert experience thing, at the Hollywood Bowl. I think my sister was originally planning to go, but then her summer plans shifted a little bit. And rather than try to get, like, a refund on them or whatever, she handed them off to my parents for Father's Day, and he's been really excited about it since then. Speaking of the Hollywood Bowl, you got their schedule up. You eyeing something in particular on the schedule? I can't remember the last time I took a look at it. I've only been there, I think, once myself. I saw a production of Rent. Like, a friend got tickets from work, and we went there on, like, a bro date. It was a good time. This one really bugs me. That wasn't a pun. I mean, it's fine that it's a pun. It wasn't an intentional pun, but I accept it. It bugs me that I feel like I've talked to every child in the known universe, and none of them have a lead on this thing that I'm supposed to, like, check with the local children about. September 2nd, there's a Star Wars thing. Is that like a concert of just greatest hit Star Wars music, or is it something, like, more specific? How are we doing on that thought, by the way? How are we doing? 71%. That's, like, not as far as I want that to. Dang, we got 4 skill points backed up? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Remaining, 6-ish hours. That's not terrible. Because, like, we should be able to burn through, like, 3 hours just, like, after Kim leaves. So it shouldn't be, like, too far into tomorrow that we finish the Wasteland of Reality. And then Physical Instrument will hopefully return to normal, at which point we can then solve the mystery of the secret passages at the Whirling and Rags. What do I do with all these skill points, though? Also, what do I do with, like, all my time? Specifically Return of the Jedi in concert. That's cool. Kind of like not a lot to do, huh? A lot of this is... my suspicion is that Make Vanix Jam Harder Core will require me to complete... What is it? This one. Arno Van Ick. Yeah. I think this is related. It only takes 50 minutes. Maybe I should have done this before the other thing. I definitely remembered it being more than 50 minutes in game time. I also have to do this. This takes a few hours. I have like a bunch of these that I want to do, but like the last 2 thoughts I've done have taken like a tremendous amount of time. Well, any suggestions on stuff to do? I can think of one thing that Devolution you've specifically asked me to do, and it will pass a non-zero amount of time. Why does this never seem to work the way I expect it to? I was really excited to have this map, and it kind of sucks. Oh no, I think I have to like get to one of the points on the map to warp to another one. Is that right? Does that sound right? I think I sort of, like, quietly deduced that last week and then just forgot about it. And by last week, I mean 2 weeks ago. So this should be one of those places. I think the church counts as one. I am here. Travel to here. It is peculiar to me, though. Actually, let me... You know what? While I'm here, let me check the mailbox. Can I do anything with this now that I have a quest about the mail?
The yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front.
So, like, in theory, I can do the thing I was suggesting before, which is I have a quest that says I should, like, help Everard by getting signatures on this approval to, like, ruin the Wharf District. And when I lied to him and said, I did that, without even leaving the room, he's like, I know you didn't, because I have a mail carrier who will tell me if the envelope's in the mail. I was like, doesn't that mean I could just put the envelope in the mail? So, like, I could... I don't know if I'd have to wait for tomorrow. I feel like there's a timing element to this, where if I drop the envelope in the mailbox and I wait too long, he'll figure out that I lied. But if I do it pretty quickly, I might be able to trick him and maybe get my gun back without, like, ruining the Fisherman's District. Kick it. I mean, I have no particular reason to kick it, but you gotta kick it. Yeah, I took damage on that one. Looks like I took damage on that one.
There is a hollow ring as you kick the box. It sounds like it's mostly empty. Your toe hurts now.
It's so weird. Why would I feel better after that?
Your toe has suffered damage. It hurts.
What the heck? Oh, I missed it by 1. Why does it heal you and then hurt you? What is that? What is that reasoning?
You really showed that mail collection box.
You think so? Do you think it was cool?
I don't. Let's go.
Oh,
He
man.
must see the box as the weaker of the two, and you as a bully. Something he doesn't stand for.
Oh man, you made me disappoint Kim. Normally, I don't need any help for that. I feel like it's just been too long since I've been here, but these are the same guys. I feel like I'm too zoomed out. Now I feel like I'm too zoomed in. What do I do with my hands? I think at some point I was starting to say, it strikes me as odd that in a game with, like, limited time and consequences for time, there's no ability to skip time? Especially because, like, I genuinely think you can run out of stuff to do in a day. I've come very close
You're
multiple
back.
times.
Good. What can I help you with?
What was this under? Reality questions? No, I've been dealing with
Oh.
Everard. Okay. Why not? Why not just say a bunch of nonsense about every interaction I've had with Everard with Joyce? I helped him turn up the heat on the borscht, which I want you to appreciate is a reference to a very short questline we, I believe, have already completed, that without that context, she would have no idea what this means.
Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making?
The cook makes it to keep the strikers drunk and helps them strike.
The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it?
Nope, you misunderstand. I turned the knob like this? I'm pretty sure that's what I did, because I made the cook sad. He was excited to make everyone drunk, and I was like, please no.
Beyond curious. I will choose to interpret that as you turning the alcohol in the strike brew down. For the sake of our professional relationship. And because I don't like the idea of them any more drunk than they already are. What else?
Something about an envelope. I don't know all the details.
Sounds like he has you running errands, detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Where did he have you deliver it?
To a weird fishing village down the coast, which is one of like 3 places I can go to.
Ah, yes. I've been meaning to go there.
Why?
With longing. Clear and simple longing. Strange. Why does she want to go there?
Yeah, why? He wants to build a youth center.
A youth centre with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it. Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him.
Wow, that's like the most passion I've heard from her. She's a very measured woman. You're quite fond of this village, eh?
I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders.
I think she already made some reference to that. Not in great detail. But I feel like she mentioned that she had, like, some romantic tryst in this area. Just didn't realize it was over in the fishing
He's
village.
probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. Not that it matters. These buildings are all carbon copies of one another.
You've been to Martinez before?
Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats.
Spring break?
And... Don't hold it against me. My paramour certainly did not.
We had boats. My paramour did not. Oh, she was saying he was like, quote-unquote, lower class or something. Good times.
Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. Me and my girlfriends from Azon with our shiny boats. Like reavers.
Take a sip. She just name-dropped a nothing place that doesn't
We
exist.
told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the coast since the Coalition landed in '08. Imagine.
She's sentimental, all right. You don't know enough about her to find out why exactly. She will keep her secrets for now.
Are you sad you can't buy it?
Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time, detective. I've always wanted a dilapidating fishing village.
Oh my god, same.
She is more defensive about it than usual.
Thanks,
Full
Rhetoric.
of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information?
No. But I'll point out that Mr. Everard is helping me find my
Oh.
gun.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling.
I'm pretty sure I did
He's
this.
able to
Maybe I
contain the
didn't.
anger and surprise. When I said be wacky, I didn't mean wildly, grossly irresponsible and damaging to the RCM.
Hi, Mom. What are you doing in chat? You should be having a good time elsewhere, probably off said grid.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this, to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done this. I don't know if it'll be different
Incredible.
somehow.
Simply
Oh.
incredible.
I think I've gotten this far,
How
but
is
I
it
didn't.
going?
I didn't
Has
do
this
3, so I didn't
detecting
trigger that
produced a
part of
gun?
it.
Yes. As you said.
Please don't get him in a loop. If he gets in a loop, it will last forever. Ask him to say something else, please.
That's a surprisingly good read. I think he passed a really difficult skill check to get there.
Of course. Thank you for the advice. I'm glad you were here to assist. Your other dealings with Everard are still of considerable interest to me.
The lieutenant will be more lenient toward sharing those, hopefully.
So when you say keep asking, that's probably what I'm gonna get, right? Well, it's very sweet of the both of you, but I hope that he drives safe and that you have a good time, and really don't worry about the stream. Okay, so I think that's probably everything we're gonna get from her.
Of course,
Maybe I'll just
Detective.
check on
You can
reality,
always
but I
drop
think
by
we're done with
later.
reality.
More lessons in basic reality. My favorite part. Glad
Nah,
to
we're
have been of
good.
assistance. The little.
So I think I'm gonna go drop off the letter in the mailbox. And then I'm gonna try going over to Everard and see how that works. Now I'm gonna say beforehand, but I'm reasonably committed to this. Cause as I implied the last time we played, at this point, he gave me some leniency the first time for just like not doing that first task and not really trying or anything. So I'm almost curious as to like how far I can get that to go. And if I can like fluster him and like break his composure in some meaningful way. So we're obviously gonna call this one mail fraud, which you shouldn't do. Why did that? For some reason that looked to me like it did a load instead of a save. So that felt weird.
The dented yellow mail,
Drop
but
it.
the documents inside the envelope still lack the required signatures.
It's not going to be that easy. We need to dirty our hands with the signatures. I assume that's the goal here.
No, but like I'll just commit fraud. That seems fine, doesn't it?
But the documents...
It's not going to be that easy.
That's a bummer. Now, we already tried talking to this girl about the
Hi, Ace
insects.
Detective. Are you here for more books?
Man, she still doesn't have anything to say about that. I haven't been able to get anything out of, Kuno, the guy who sucks. Even though it's kind of implied that he did it. Is there something more to be gained from these idiots? Muckle and Mookle?
That ride is fucking light.
Hey, piss. Look who it is. Shrunken cophead material.
Nah, I could just get those, like, really offensive jackets. Hey, wait, what shoes am I wearing? My perception shoe. Should I be wearing my super cool sneakers? I don't remember getting the scarf, but I'm sure it happened. God, these shoes make me even dumber. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being dumber than this character is right now? What's perception at currently? It's like pretty high. We could switch to these slick kicks for a while and see if anything interesting happens. So dumb. God. I think I create like a gravitational well in which knowledge is unable to escape and thus goes to die. You're too fast for facts. That sounds like a good 90s rap. What attributes and modifiers would your clothes give you? Oh god, they would all be probably terrible. I don't have fashion sense. Maybe as a result they increase encyclopedia because I'm not preoccupied with fashion. I feel like I would somehow get, like, minuses to everything in, certainly physique and motorics. Probably also psyche. I mean, well, let's consider as a baseline that my wardrobe choices are probably most similar to the Man from Kim doll shirt. Except I probably wouldn't get plus physical instrument, because that implies I'd probably be in better shape. So yeah, like minus authority, plus shivers, plus encyclopedia. Something in that ballpark sounds about right. This is Tommy the Hom. I think the only thing I could do with him is try to do more poetry. Sounds like a neat build. I don't know about all that. What do I do now? I really don't want to do the letter quest, which doesn't leave me very much to do. What's the time frame I need to get to, by the way? It's like 2100, isn't it? You're correct. I do not give myself any credit. That is accurate. It's not necessarily incorrect to behave in that way. What was the reason I have so many points in composure? Was that so I could get the homosexual underground? Is that what happened there? That's very suspicious. Just in the abstract, looking at my skills. It's kind of interesting. On the whole, most of these won't chime into a conversation until I put at least a skill point in them, with the exceptions of, like, electrochemistry, authority, esprit de corps, and, to a lesser extent, shivers. So, like, I guess 5 is sort of like the average boost you need in order for those to chime in, like, on average. I certainly don't have great fashion sense. Any fashion sense I have is something that you, my mom, have literally bought for me. So I feel like that is, in fact, like a negative modifier on any credit I could possibly take for that. And then I have a bunch of t-shirts with the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda on them. Which, like, I'm not saying that's bad, but I think if I asked the average person, they would say that's bad. What do I, like, do? Yeah, a little Snoopy. I kind of, like, the nice Snoopy shirts I had have all kind of been worn through, or I got too fat and, like, stretched them out in the post-before times. During the pandemic, proper. Hey, Ocadius, welcome to the stream. You say that you have no fashion sense either. Most of your clothes were bought by your grandma, since you're colorblind and have infinite trouble matching colors. Well, see, that, I mean, first off, that's a totally valid reason to struggle with that. So, like, I'm certainly not here to criticize you for it. I don't really have a good reason for that. So, you know. Kronos, you also own too many graphic tees. I mean, like, here's the thing. It's not a problem in a vacuum. So I'm not trying to badmouth other people doing it. I'm mostly, for one, always, invariably, impossibly difficult on myself. My mom will verify that in chat, for sure. But, like, also, as a guy, I tend to think of fashion as sort of a spectrum between comfort practicality, sort of one end of the spectrum, and, like, attracting people romantically on the other end of the spectrum, which isn't entirely valid, because there are certainly things that, I mean, I guess would just represent the dead center of that spectrum, so maybe it's not that far off. But, like, let me tell you that, like, Baby Yoda shirt's, like, way on the comfort end of the spectrum. I mean, it's like that, what's the commercial where, like, some guy goes on a date and the woman shows up and she's like, oh, you look uncomfortable. She kind of says it all gross like that. Everyone kind of showed up. What's hello, Kronos, Envil Pixie. Comfort is fashion. Well, that's great. I'm here for it. I wish more people felt that way. I don't know. I have been considering trying to get just like a higher density of like more fashion stuff. I don't know. I'm in a weird place in my life. I don't think we want to get too lost in the weeds about it. Unless we absolutely can't think of anything else to do in this video game. Which I don't know when that'll happen. Okay. I want information. I think I'm still trying to avoid a direct spoiler. May I ask if anyone knows, which they may not, but if anyone knows, am I somehow meant to extract information about the locusts from Kuno? Yes or no? Because if no, I'll probably never speak to him again. If yes, maybe I'll waste some time on this. Unsure is about where I'm at on a personal level. What else is there to, like, do, though? How's the game last night? So far, I'm liking Raincoat a lot. Honestly, despite the fact that I've been excited about it and, like, name-dropping it for months, whether or not you've caught me occasionally doing that, like, I've literally had, like, a calendar alert on my phone to buy that game on release day for, like, I want to say, like, 7 or 8 months. So, like, I was looking forward to it. I honestly wasn't expecting very much of it. And to be honest, I think the reason for that is because I've been excited about all the Uchikoshi releases post Zero Time Dilemma. Well, to be entirely honest. No, I guess that's fair to say, because I was excited for the release of Zero Time Dilemma. I just did not like the game for reasons. But, you know, like, both of the Somnium Files games and World's End Club all have been... problematic is probably not the right word, but it feels like a convenient shorthand. So, like, when a broadly similar type of game came out, even though there were a lot of things about it that seemed pretty cool, I was kind of like, I don't know about this. But after spending, like, 3-ish hours playing it, like, I've been really enjoying it so far. I like the characters a lot more than, for example, either World's End Club or the Somnium Files games. Hopefully they won't try to flesh out my favorite supporting character by making them, like, somehow the villain of a story where that's just not true. Just do another Dorfromantic stream, or a chill stream or something. They might have time for that. I always appreciate the input on how you found the channel, and I'm both intrigued and grateful that some folks are hanging out after watching Dorfromantic. Dorfromantic's tough because, like, I don't know, like, I found it from watching another streamer play it and finding that to be a really fun experience, but I kind of know it's not for everyone, so I hesitate to do it all the time. To be honest with you, especially since, like, one time I streamed it and some dude came in and was basically like, I'm the world champ of Dorfromantic, I'm way better at it than you. And, like, I know that it wasn't meant that way, but I'm like, this, like, clearly isn't, like, a competitive game. Oh, hang on, I'm having a thought.
The hisses and chirps
Oh, come on.
of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows.
Why did I not pass this before?
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case.
The lieutenant looks around and writes something in his notebook and turns to you. Also, I'm, like, really, really hoping that I haven't broken the game, but thankfully I did recently save in case I did. You wish you were there for that. I mean, like, honest to God, I'm not trying to badmouth them. I don't recall their name, and I know that they came, like, I at least genuinely believe that they did not come into the stream, like, trying to be, like, boisterous about it, but I was just sort of like, I don't know what my takeaway from this conversation is supposed to be. I'm just playing Dorfromantic. In my opinion, it is, like, the chillest game that exists, and he's, like, coming in here being like, I have like some record on some scoreboard of something, and I'm like, that's like really cool for you. I'm just gonna keep looking for like enough windmills to finish this field or whatever. But yeah, I do encourage you to check out, like, I don't know. I would really like to hear people's feedback on how their response to Rain Code. Because, like, if people don't like it, like, that's fine. It's a game I at this point, I would say I am likely to finish at least off stream. But, like, it feels like the type of game that I want to be streaming, so I hope people like it. Because I've been liking it so far. If it means anything, I got way better after you gave me some advice on the game. Oh, thank you, Volpixie. That's very sweet. I do appreciate hearing that. I don't think of myself as especially good at the game, but as someone who can't help but try to analyze stuff, I managed to come up with some stuff that I consider, like, tips or whatever, so I'm glad something was helpful. That's actually good to hear, Demolition. I'm glad that you liked Rain Code. I know that you will tell it to me straight if you're not liking one of those games, even if they're extremely on-brand for the stream.
Of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well.
Yes. Cusco's poison. The poison for Cusco. The poison chosen specifically to kill Cusco. You bought it for a few people over the time since you saw it play. Oh, that's... I mean, I guess that's true. I know you got it for my sister, who also streams. I'm not surprised you would get it to other people. Like, Dorfamatic is a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's just that, like... It's a struggle, because it's a game that's, like, relatively easy to, like, interact with chat during, which is a positive, for sure. But, like, I think it also alienates some amount of people who are, like, kind of nothing happens the entire stream. Which is, like, fair. But, like, also some people are into it. So I try not to do it, like, super often unless I have a reason to. But, like, it is a good thing to do every now and then. I don't think I would tell off Kim, so I think I'm just gonna say that's definitely what I was thinking.
Yes. I feel we are nearing a real breakthrough.
So, do you think that the Instalindian Phasmid is nearby?
If anything, the presence of the locust points to the opposite. The Phasmid did not take the bait from the traps. It was Kuno. The Phasmid doesn't exist. But what do I know?
We should go to Kuno and tell him to stop.
I'll let
Okay.
you handle the Kuno side of things. You are doing just fine.
I think he's still being sarcastic. Ah, very good. I did break the game a little bit. Don't worry about it. It might be fine. That was fun, though. I'm glad we got to witness that together. That's one of my favorite things about streaming, to be honest with you, is when something extremely unlikely happens and or, like, a glitch occurs. I really like to be able to just sort of, like, look in the camera and be like, you saw that too, right, chat? You saw the entire world load in under my feet, right? Another thing I've learned playing this game is that if I want to complete a quest, I should earnestly just say out loud, I have no idea how to proceed, and then do something at random, and then the quest will happen. Like, that's maybe the third or fourth time that's happened. And what's weird about that is I had definitely already gone in there, in fact, with a higher perception score than I have now, and did not prompt that. Anyway, let's tell him to stop, and then I guess we'll talk to the zoologist.
Fuck does Kuno care?
I know you took the bugs, don't.
Yeah. Kuno took the bugs, so what?
Don't. I already said don't do it.
So it wasn't the Phasmid. A wave of disappointment washes over you.
I'm gonna call him out on his crap, because he hurt my feelings, so I'm gonna hurt his feelings, because I'm a known petty pirate. You say you don't give a crap about bugs, and then you do, like, a whole bug town. It's so weird.
It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts. Locusts aren't just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Shit descends. Stop!
Good, see?
You stop. It's like their fucking night. Locust City, Night City, City of Rage.
The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort. The lameness is causing her physical pain. The damage may be permanent.
It's interesting that's a pain threshold check. I guess you're just sort of, like, acknowledging their pain somehow. One of these could really, like, change the dynamic of this world, which would be interesting. I feel like 2's a little accusatory. I feel like I should encourage him and be like, yeah, that sounds cool, and then maybe he'll keep going, and then she'll explode.
Kuno, the pig wants to help you. Oh, that's how lame it is. Please just don't say you're...
An artist? Maybe I am an artist. You hear that, everyone? I'm a fucking artist now.
That's so cool. It's so cool of you to make art.
Oh my god, Kuno. He's gonna make you totally lame in, like, 3 seconds. Don't let him, Kuno.
Serious question. In what way could I possibly make him lame? Look at me. I got my frog visor on. I'm constantly carrying a boombox. And now I have this extremely sketchy-looking door-opening device. Also, my fashion sense is impeccable.
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free.
He tears at the button of his shirt, trying to rip them open. He does not succeed.
Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
In it, you hear snow melting, dripping from the eaves. Someone closing a window. So that's what this is about.
There's a subtext here that's a little odd. So the whole relationship is her trying to make him a worse person because she's specifically concerned that he will want to become a police officer? Or is that just, like, part of it? I feel like something about this check and the options provided suggests that that's everything. That's the whole kit and caboodle. This feels important again. What? Two might be sort of condemning him, right? Because it will imply that he, like, was in cahoots with us or something. And, like, she'll be offended that, like, he was already, like, talking about, like, whatever. I want to say 1. I feel like that's gotta be wrong. Say nothing feels like it could work. I'm gonna try to. I'm not... The thing is that, like, Kuno and Kuno S are both such, like, absolutely unhinged characters that, like, trying to predict the outcome of dialogue options is, like, extremely difficult. It's actually very similar to trying to solve logic puzzles in the dream world of Somnium Files, which is to say it's mostly guess and check and then get punished for your failures.
I don't believe you.
For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear
definition of
across
wild
his
cards.
face. Use this momentary confusion to take control of the situation.
I need you to stop taking locusts from the traps. The cryptozoologists are trying to find something important. The locusts are bait.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. C was right.
That's interesting.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno.
What's gonna happen to the locusts?
Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die.
What is... Chief Wilson. That's such a good pull. It's kind of obscure now, but I like it. The neighbor from Home Improvement, for those of you who aren't like dinosaurs like me. What does it
don't
mean?
mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus.
Locus
Kuno
focus?
likes to concentrate on shit. Build shit when he's zipping hard. Fuck. Pig, you really shouldn't have fucked with Kuno City. Now it's all fucking lame.
Alright, I'll just go
The
now.
fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
The Insulindian Phasmid.
He recognizes the name.
Wait, you know what that
I
is?
just think Kuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit.
There's silence between the two children. They're not saying anything to each other, nor looking in each other's direction.
Wow, we made some real progress there. Alright, now let's go talk to the cryptozoologists. I have no idea what happens there next. God, I still have $74 after all that nonsense of buying these nice shoes that made me dumber. I think we talked to the guy, because he set up the
Hello,
traps.
officer. I think I almost have it. A new
What is-
trap design, that is. I know you're skeptical, but I have a good feeling about this.
Shut up, I want to complain about your dialogue. Why is he the only character in the game whose dialogue does this? Is this intentional? It's very annoying. Please fix it. I had a chat with Kuno. He's terrible.
So it was just a child.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
She acts chipper, but something's changed in her tone. A hidden worry. Something is secretly gnawing at her confidence. It's not this Kuno kid, or the missing locusts. It's something else.
Is it the fact that the last time he went out into the field, he kind of like left her for dead?
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe we can.
Nice hideous coughing fit.
He has a 38-degree fever. His resilience has given way.
Why does Composure know what his temperature is? That feels abnormal. That's definitely not in the realm of normal human skills.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick. Maybe it's time to go home.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
There won't be a next season. Not for this. Find a Phasmid or admit defeat, people.
Well, I'll tell you right away, it's not option one. Man, I'm really feeling this is costing time on my main investigation. Nah, nope. It's not worth risking your health. You should call it a day and go home. I offer to help, but I have my own things to do. These are such weird options. Maybe I can still restock the trap for you. Or we've come too far to quit. I'm going to restock the trap. Let's do this! Alright, let's do this. Yeah, right? Superstar Cop, like, has to just, like, go all in on this. Like, if I'm doing it, I'm gonna become famous for finding a bug while also solving a murder. And I'm not gonna do it half-heartedly.
We are getting really carried away with this, aren't we? Fine. It's better than having these people get pneumonia on the coast. But after this...
Yeah, sure, whatever.
He wants to see this tale through, as much as you. Otherwise, he'd have stopped this already. But he cannot let it drag out after this.
Thanks, Drama.
Really? It's too much, officer.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
Here's a fresh batch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel.
God, that's horrible.
Thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery. I'm not talking co-discovery, of course, but,
I wish I could remember all the circumstances of it. This makes me think of, like, a story that I read on Twitter a while ago, where, for some reason, someone had ordered, like, a box of crickets. Maybe it was, like, to feed, like, a lizard or something like that. But, like, they tried to, like, pull the packing tape off of it, and, like, there were just, like, loose crickets in the box, and so they kind of just started coming out the hole. And he, like, tried to retape it, and, like, for some reason, I forget if, like, someone else tried to, like, check what was in the box or something, but, like, basically the a hole got reopened in the box, but it was like left in like a closed bathroom. And then that person had to like leave and do something, and they came back, and like just all the crickets from inside the box were just like all over the bathroom. I was like, oh no, it's my nightmare.
Wow. Co-discovery. You'd be famous.
It's all about that
You'd
fame.
show them all. This does tingle the pleasure center.
Shut up, electrochemistry.
This would show them all. We need to get you on that list of discoverers. No question about that.
I do enjoy when two sort of disparate personality aspects team up on an idea. That's pretty much always fun. Alright, I'll get going. It's like, oh my god, I just have a box, huh? You could sell it. Oh my god. Part of me is almost tempted to try that just to have the conversation with the pawn shop guy. Be like, I'm sorry, you want to sell me what? Alright, I forgot that I got these speakers. Which I could actually sell back for $30? That's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know why I need the speakers, though, so I'm not doing that. But that's just kind of a funny thing that you could do. Just buy them for 50 to get the shoes, and then sell them back. And basically the shoes cost you 20. Alright, so, I mean, I guess we're just gonna go back to the coast and do it. First, restock the trap you left empty before. It should be the first one that we found, because we checked it last, I think? I like that it says the trick is to remember which one that is. Let's do a save. Sure, I'm about to use the map. I'll use the map save. So I think I'm in... That's not the correct button for that. I think I'm in range of this hotspot to travel to... I think it is technically closest to the church, but I'm too stupid to navigate from there, I think. Just when you think you're gonna run out of things, the game delivers sometimes. So... further up this way? So that's up to the... Yeah, I want to say it's like back behind here. Yeah, that's it, right? This one looks empty.
The trap stands empty near the reeds. No insect sounds or movement around. Only the reeds' apprehensive hissing. The locusts, dazed from being transported, slowly begin to acclimate to their new surroundings. They're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable here.
Good, now that's done. When do you think we will return to our impending apocalypse of a murder investigation?
I'm gonna be honest with you, that might not happen for another couple of days.
Don't answer that. It was a rhetorical question.
Too late.
He doesn't want to. But if there is one more cryptozoological runaround, he must force the investigation back on track. This better be it.
So what's the old update? Portalina. Alright. I feel like this should take a lot longer than the game is implying this will take, but we'll find out together. Just as soon as I find the fast travel hotspot. I will say, I consistently hate the geography of this game. Kind of in both senses of the term. Why do I keep doing that? I feel like the game does kind of a bad job of making me care about the world at large, but invests a lot of time in trying to make me care about the world at large. But also just, like, the whole world is kind of, like, unwieldy, and there's only, like, these 3 really specific hotspots. I just feel like there's probably a better way to, like, do this. Let's go back to where we were. God, we're like, not even gonna get the boots tonight, are we? Oh, he left.
Hello, dear. It's good to see a familiar face.
I restocked the thing and he left.
Thank you for doing that, dear.
Her smile is weary. Her earlier ebullience has left her.
I don't know what that means. These shoes are making me very dumb.
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him.
What a horrible thing to say. Only the hardcore players are left, huh? 2. It's probably for the best. It's awfully cold out there in those reeds.
I'm sorry, dear. You've had to drudge through them so many times. Such is field work. A young person's game, as they say.
Her voice is shaky. What is going on here?
So who's gonna check the trap? Hey, wait a minute. Is the Insulindian Phasmid some sort of parasite that's gonna, like, bust him open like the movie Alien? Is that what's gonna happen? Like, he already found it, but he's gonna die real bad?
Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back out, perhaps.
The lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in mud. He doesn't say anything.
Well, in order to get co-finder credit or whatever, obviously I'm gonna have to do it myself. Also, I could use some more things to do today. So I'm gonna take it on with undue optimism. Once more under the breach.
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I can see you're coming down with a cough yourself.
You're mistaken. That's just my natural unhealthy demeanor.
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this? It's like she's given up.
What's wrong? It's the only dialogue option I can ask.
Different? How?
You're not telling me the whole story.
I'm not. It's not that.
What is it?
It's a strange feeling. I haven't really told this to anyone, but you are a police officer.
That's right, I am the law.
And when a police officer asks, you must answer.
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood is just
Oh,
that?
no.
A story? Or a dream?
Hunching her shoulders now. She seems even smaller than she is. Like a sad young girl.
Seeing the Insulindian Phasmid was just a story I used to tell people. I didn't really think about whether it was real or not.
But Morel told me you'd seen it, and you also told me.
Morel's so proud of it. He always tells everyone.
A terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
You seem to really believe it happened. Doesn't that count for something?
No, sweetie. There's more to it than that. Morel was so eager to believe my story was evidence of the Phasmid's existence, that I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That, and for years his belief made me believe too.
Double believe.
That I am a queen? An extraordinary witness to grace.
But now, we're both getting old, and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it. But what if I was just wrong? I think I was.
The lieutenant opens his notebook, but doesn't write anything.
Aw, I think that's the way that he demonstrates that he's feeling something.
He's hiding. These things are tough on him. Matters of love, not violence or deceit.
I feel like I chose well. Suggestion has always been the root of checks that I want to be able to do. First, tell her that her marriage hasn't been a lie. 97%. Let's go!
An acorn is not the same as the tree. That requires time, diligence, and care.
And I need something good here.
All qualities these two seem to share in abundance.
Wrong or not, your relationship with Morel isn't just about the Phasmid.
But it is. We've spent years searching for the Phasmid, hunting it together. Without it, what are we? Just another pathetic old couple.
You love each other very much and something stoic. For some reason, when TV shows talk about this, they never get to the end of that explanation.
If I hadn't led him down this path, he could have a steady job lecturing at a university.
Two is really funny. Normally when I think about stuff like women and marriage, I feel bad. When I think about you and Morel, I feel okay. That counts for something. I feel like I want to say one, though. He hated lecturing. You convinced him to do something real. Which is find something that may or may not be real.
If the dream comes to naught, what good is it? No, the thing is...
She looks down at her legs.
I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I arrived. On our first date. If I weren't the queen of the cryptozoologists... If I didn't tell him that story...
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
Wow, that was hard. I mean, this lady's been, like, a kindly mother or grandmother to our psychotic character, so I feel like he needs to support her in kind. She is family, sort of. He'd still be into you. That's not how these things work.
Maybe. But then why do I not dare tell him?
Just people are dumb sometimes.
I've wasted enough of your time with this drama. I really must stop talking about it, lest I start crying and waste more of your time.
Look, lady, if I'm not spending my time on you crying, then I'm just gonna be crying myself. It's happened multiple times before.
What you have to know is, the Insulindian phasmid
Dang.
does not exist. Let us fools chase our ghosts. There are a million better things to do with your life.
Superstar Cop will triple down on this. Exactly, Kronos. She supported us when we middle finger launched ourselves into our body into her. It's the least we could do. Like, I'm not sure how many characters I genuinely believe that our player character would genuinely care about, but I feel like she is one of them. So I'm just gonna... This is a thing that I've taken to doing in real life sometimes when, like, my friends have doubts about something and I really don't. Is just, like, quintuple down on it and, like, go way overboard and be like, nah, you're being ridiculous. I completely believe the correct thing.
A true believer. Sometimes I still see it, too. The real memory of it. How it was there. Not the memory of the memory, but it's so hard to tell the two apart.
What I also kind of like about this little narrative we've constructed is that I feel like before, when I was making choices about the cryptozoological stuff, I was, like, kind of riding the fence of, like, I was enthusiastic about it, but not always, like, 100% on board. And I like that sort of, unintentionally, I'm sort of mirroring her story of, like, you know, it was a fun story she told, and then she really believed it, and then she doubted it. And then for me, it was kind of a fun story, and now I really believe it, and then who knows what'll happen in the end. Maybe I'll prove us both right and become super famous.
Rising, unfolding from the reeds on a hot summer's day, like a benevolent god.
Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary.
Do you need help?
Oh no, thank you, but I can get there on my own. This old thing is gas-powered. And then a taxi home. It's not so bad.
You do that, and I'm gonna go check on those traps.
Really?
Oh, sweetie. Please don't get stuck on a dream. Take it from me and Morel.
I need to waste as much time as possible.
No one can stop you from finding the phasmid.
Thanks, Felician. What was that? Oh, I barely succeeded at that. I barely succeeded at that with a +9. Or, yeah, it would be a +9, right? No. I'm reading the how many I have in reserve. The actual score would just be +6, which is still pretty good. I need your address.
Okay. It's 1113 Tabernacle Road. Jamrock, but...
Say no more.
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need it.
It's been a pleasure, ma'am.
Likewise, sweetie. Thank you for everything. Truly. Even though it turned out to be a...
Sentence remains unfinished. I don't like that task is complete.
A fool's hope. Say her lips moving in silence. Like that, she drives off. The gas engine putters quietly.
Oh my god, that's
as
very
she gets
powerful.
to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, the cold coastal wind blows.
We should go too.
Jeez. Oh, it's just gone now, huh? That's sad. I'm still gonna go check the trap, but I think the game is telling me that literally can't possibly do anything. Got all these skill points, nothing to do with it. Mostly because I've spent like a full 24 hours thinking about becoming sober. Ugh, 5 more hours. I think that, like, essentially by the time we wake up, that'll be done. But we still have to get there. Look, I didn't hit escape that time. Are you proud of me? Go to the... They're kind of similar. Go to the fisherman shacks. It's interesting that you can ask for the address, considering that, again, the impression this all gives is that there isn't anything to do at this point. Aw, thanks. Glad someone's proud of me. I don't know why I picked that up as, like, a thing to constantly say. I do consider that a
few
Vascoism,
locusts
though.
trudge along the wall of the trap. The rest are piled in a heap in the corner, dead. No phasmid anywhere.
Rip. Talked to a man so rich he was literally made out of light, but now they're telling me the phasmid isn't real. Yeah, right, Kronos? You get it.
Poor things.
Jeez, that's such a
few
bummer.
locusts trudge along the wall of the trap. Poor thing.
There's really there's nothing else, huh? Well, riddle me this. What happens if I check all the other traps? Is the answer something? So 2 of them are close to start, and 1 of them's off, like, in that weird delta behind the church. It's probably not even the right term. I think 1 of them was back here. Dang. It's so funny that you could sell that box of locusts. It's like, why? There it is.
Just dead and dying locusts, and the slow swaying of poor things.
Okay. I kind of, like, walked all the way out here and there wasn't anything, right? God, I really want that helmet, and I have just no idea how to even, like, try to progress finding the helmet. It's so vexing to me. Another weird word I've taken to saying. That one I have more of a sense of why, though. For some reason, having a word like that handy stops me from saying a certain subset of swears more often. Boop, 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 boop. I walk all the way back to the water lock, or whatever it's called. Am I where I think I am? No, but close enough. Yeah, that's the sandcastle that had the gloves in it. Actually, while I'm here, I don't think it will let me... Oh, shoot. Is it not possible to wash the death smell off me if I'm not at the Whirling in Rags?
It's somewhat effective!
That's really bad. I should probably do that, even though it doesn't seem to have any mechanical consequences whatsoever. Which is shocking and actually a little upsetting. So there's like 2 that are in this general direction, right? Like 1 here.
The trap is full of locusts, but they seem weak and unhealthy. A few lie on their backs with their legs twitching. Still, no phasmid. Poor things.
Everyone's like close to here, right? This looks like it's interactable, but it isn't. There's just some like green in the sand and snow. So it's back all the way onto the log. I'm gonna say it's like I think it's like between here and the village. I want to say that the 2 were really close together, but I don't quite remember where the other one was. Anything else of interest at this moment? Lily?
The waves are
Lillian?
beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
This seems higher than I remember this being while Kim was still around. I'm curious, people of chat. Knowing what you know about the game currently, if you were going to start a playthrough of this game, what would you choose as your, like, key skill? As I said earlier, I've been pretty happy with Suggestion as mine. But, like, I feel like they're all pretty much valid. Some of them feel like they might contribute less than others, but I'm gone in here in a minute. And wasn't there a thing where, like, I had, like, a thought that triggered and then, like, went away or something? Whatever it is, it's still not triggering. Crap, I'm too stupid. Where's that last trap? There's a bench. There's all them weirdos. Interesting. That's more support than I would have expected in chat for Suggestion. I'm primarily chose Suggestion because it was sort of like convince people to do stuff, and I'm like, I like the diplomacy option rather than like pure violence in games like this. That seems fun. You think that you chose drama? Drama seems like it would be a fun one. Like getting it to chime in at like basically every opportunity seems like it would yield a bunch of fun. I was like closer to this one in the front.
The trap is filled with dead and dying locusts. Most of them aren't moving anymore. You still can't see a phasmid anywhere. Poor things.
Dang, didn't get anything from that, huh? Thought it might point to something or something, but it didn't. Now where does that leave us? Try talking to Titus, I guess. I certainly have enough skill points that I could, like, open that white check again. I think it's a white check, and it's, like, a decent shot at it, too. Maybe it is just time to do that. But while I'm in this general area, I think I might as well check the church, which would require me to go around this on the other side. I don't even think it's been, like, 2 hours, so I'm gonna guess that they're not set up in the church yet, but, like, you know. As well be sure, because there may be more to do there if they are set up. at the church. Yeah. Which they're probably not. Set up at the church. Yeah. Oh. Hey, they're set up at the church. This doesn't seem...
It's all set up, man. Can you already imagine 1,000 people in here? 10,000.
He waves his hands in an unbelievably lame, non-hardcore manner. Let me tell you something. I don't think you should fit 10,000 people in here. It does not seem like it's in a great state of repair.
Ecstatic vibrations, totally transcendent. And I've finished setting up the new compressor too.
He looks at the imposing black box in the corner that's churning out
Now the only
sound.
thing left to do is the name of the club. Will you do the honors, detective?
Oh. Well, I might as well ask literally every person what they would suggest. Because the last one is listed as proceed, and so I don't think I will proceed until I decide to do that.
The name. Everything I managed to come up with sounds just wrong.
Andre's overthinking it.
Yes, you should do it, detective. It would be good for the signs.
Oh, will that advance the quest for our signs to sync up?
Lloyd's right. You've helped us so much. It's the right thing to do.
What do you suggest, Excel?
How about
Oh, this is
something
probably
simple?
bad.
Like the club?
Too modern and too ironic. We don't want ironic. We want real. Real and true and beautiful. Like a morning after the rave.
Egghead, I'm sure you have ideas.
Yakokata! Yakokata! The place to be!
Yeko Qatar, the zone of ecological catastrophe. That's too morbid, Egg. Got
You don't want to
anything
go to
else?
Club Chernobyl?
Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega!
No, it has to be bigger than hardcore. Yes, it has to be even bigger than hardcore to the mega. It has to be bigger than the scene.
Noid, your input?
The amnesia.
Like the... I can't remember the name of the club, Amnesia.
Amnesia!
It's not amnesia, guys.
Hey, Suna, the programmer who wants nothing to do with this. Your thoughts?
I don't.
Good. We have too many opinions anyway.
Kim. Please, do the honors.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't build a club, and I wouldn't name it either.
An underground place with no name? Sounds like something the Crabman would say.
We're not going with anything the Crabman would say.
Why not? The Crabman has ideas, Estelle. Ideas from another level of consciousness.
Not wrong.
I don't care. I don't like the Crabman, and I don't like his ideas. His ideas are spooky. Next, please.
Is that speciest? I don't know. Okay, I think I come up with something.
You have? Well, what's the name?
No truce with the Furies? That's a wild one. I mean, I literally only have these 3 choices. I can't, like, manually input something. I mean, I feel like the whole entirety of everything has led us to one conclusion. In order to give the name of the game purpose, it must be adhered to, let's be honest, our real main quest, which is to find the new sound and establish this dance club. That was the original game name? Really? As off the wall as Disco Elysium is, I feel like No Truce with the Furies is actually just too much. Disco Elysium.
Like that DeLorean
Roll
word
credits.
for the world, you mean? Elysium.
But Disco Elysium? Isn't it wacky? Disco's kind of gone, isn't it? Forgotten.
The past is the future, but the future is dead!
No, it's beautiful. Beautiful and brave. Like we want it to be. And short. And memorable.
It's settled then. Everyone welcome to Disco Elysium.
Andre breaks into frenzied dance-like motion to
Dance-like
celebrate the
motion.
name. Someone turns up the beat. You should go with the flow. Join in on the experience.
Start tapping foot.
It feels good. It feels right. But what is this? What is this thing that Andre is doing with his limbs?
Observe the movement. What are you doing?
I'm dancing.
Performs yet another strange pattern of moves, but it doesn't look cool or modern. Honestly, it looks kind of lame. We should talk about it. We should talk about your so-called dancing. I feel like it's probably good that I put on my sneakers for this.
Yes, my man.
He jumps up and down with glee. His moves punctuated by the stroboscopic flash of the club lights.
Talk? What is there to talk about if you can express yourself with moves? Audio waves thump against your ribcage. The speaker setup makes everything sound much better. But the beat is still so weak.
Ooh. I don't think I should do this yet. I think I should solve the other quest first. Because, like, realistically, this isn't happening. And I'm fine with failing this, frankly, but I think it's most interesting for me to see how much this changes if I can find the new sound. And that's not that much of an investment of time. If Thursday ever comes to an end, oh my god, this is the longest day. So I'm gonna come back to this later.
Goodbye, officer.
How are you doing? Is this almost done?
What is it?
How's the project going? Everything is obviously happening.
What? What did you say?
You can barely hear over the thumping bass of hypnotic dance music. I said, how is the project going?
I can't hear you. The music is too loud.
The project! How is it going?
Oh, the project! It's not going well.
Why?
There's that guy. I need him to plug a 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input so that I can route the audio signal through the mixer into the speakers.
What?
Egghead! A 3.5 cable!
So stupid.
Into the auxiliary input!
I'm gonna tell you, this is basically my favorite dad joke, which is like anytime that I'm somewhere loud, and especially if someone near me is like, God, that's really loud, I love to just respond, what? It just always makes me laugh, and I can't help myself from doing it. It's not clever, it's very stupid, but I do it like 127% of the time. Why don't you just ask him?
He doesn't listen to me! He only ever seems to care about hardcore and Yekukata! A place to be, apparently!
Now I'll speak to him.
Thanks! Maybe you can get through his magic rhymes! Let me know how it goes!
Okay, bye. Hey, my buddy.
DeLorean Church, the place to be! Make some noise, my church people!
Our speakers are set up behind him, blasting a familiar song.
Vibrations thump through your blue soul. The music sounds much better in the church.
Hey, blue is the color of my soul. I've long suspected that.
A hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane, tangled in its branches, something bronze flutters in the wind.
It's interesting. There's like another chance for Shivers to trigger to tell you how to find the cassette. And obviously I already have that. I need the other part, which I think comes from that thought.
He stands on stage
Meta-thought.
behind a table, nodding along to the music and waving his hand in the air. In front of him, the audio mixer. One reel spinning. The other reel deck is empty. Cables run hither and thither. On one side you see an auxiliary line in, with the number 4.5 written next to it.
Well, that's not the correct... Hey, something has occurred to me. I'm going to save before I actually advance this conversation. Do I already have a quest for the new sound? I got it, right? Yeah, let's save over that.
Good morning! Yeah!
Can you do the thing she wants even though it's not mathematically possible?
Cause Omega! Yeah! I can route it through auxiliary. What kind of a cable does she use? 3.5 or 4.5?
It's 3.5, no doubt about it. It's on the ground.
Oh, she uses 3.5. Yeah. The auxiliary lining is 4.5 millimeter. These two don't mix.
Can you tell me where I would find a connector for that?
Oh no, we're going to be in this church forever.
I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean to imply, Kim.
Don't worry. I have an adapter for it right here.
Oh, well, that's not much of a quest, then, is it?
Hang on. This is a 4.5. We're all good, people.
Wait. No, don't do that. Don't.
Whoa, thank God. Adapters noticeably degrade the sound quality.
Great! Someone got through to him. Okay, let's get it all set up. Can we turn the music off, please?
Egged music?
Everybody! Don't panic! I'm going to turn off the on for just a sec for a special scheduled event. The Arno will be back, but we're doing something else for one moment. All right, go tell her that Egghead is ready to rave to her tunes, and then I'll turn off the music.
Picture an egg, indeed. All right, bye, egg. Her?
Yes, what is it?
All right, he plugged it in. Do the thing. Destroy the universe.
Okay, but think you can ask him to turn the volume down a bit? Just in case.
Maximum! Maximum is the only way!
I know it is, but could you please turn it down
Didn't
just this
he
instance?
imply that he was okay
Just
with this already?
one time? Maximum is not the only way, okay?
Pump it to the brick! Pump it to the hard master! There's no other way! Glue
style.
Glue style? Okay, there literally is no other way. The mixing desk is glued to maximum.
See? He pumps it to the hard master. It's hopeless.
I passed a check that implied to me that the volume button has been glued to its maximum setting.
Of course it is.
Yeah! Permanent enlightenment!
Ray of sound. Yeah, that's all. That checks out.
Never mind then. Let's get on with our project. I'm going to unmute the speakers on a count of 5. Everyone ready?
Egghead pumps his hand up in the air, waiting for the beat to drop.
You know, on some level, I don't think I'm going to be upset if the world ends when we do this.
Born ready. Ready.
I'm ready if you two are detectives.
The lieutenant nods stoically. Suddenly, your palms are sweaty. The church seems cold and large, somehow.
I don't know what to make of this. I've had a couple of implications from my, inner voices that suggest that this is, insanely dangerous. For some reason, I don't want to trust them. Also, if the world ends, I saved not that long ago. Do it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mute disengaged.
No wind outside, no waves, no floorboards creaking. Total, continuous silence. This is unnatural. The woman looks around. In the silence, you see dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker vibrates in the air and then stops. Plasterwork begins to crumble down the walls. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your spine. It's a song inside you, not in the speakers, not in the room. A great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly, it builds until the air around you starts to vibrate.
Is this the new sound?
It's out there now, in the world. Made manifest. It will devour everything. The floorboards, the glass, the streets and the people. Nothing will remain.
Guys, what's going on?
There's alarm in his voice as he steps back to scan the surroundings. A slight rattle like crystal clattering in the cupboard fills the air, joining the chorus.
It's getting louder.
His eyes riveted on the strange
In
circle
the
of water
basins,
basins.
The water looks like it's boiling.
Hosiana! Mother of Mega!
You hear him yell and something else, but his voice is
In
growing
his
faint.
mind, a tidal wave approaching from afar, swallowing entire coastlines on its way. Salvation. He's peaking. The worst high he's ever been on.
I've never heard anything this hardcore in my life.
The beauty and the beat! The future of dance! Planetary!
No, Egg! It's the window!
Flashcards around Dolores Day's vacant heart appear to be vibrating from the sound. It almost
In the
looks as though
corner
she's
of
alive.
your eye, the lieutenant steps aside, cautiously, his eyes searching for a possible evacuation route.
Ah, good. The stream is ruined. I do hate it here in the church.
The window is going to come down. No, the roof!
She looks up. A screech fills the air, a scream of wood and nails. The pillars of the church twist and creak
Cracks
above and
appear
around
on
you.
the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars in the dark.
Come down to us! Love!
Below it, all the bass grows, like the jaws of a giant compressor gnawing on metal and wood. It does not sound benevolent at all. A great pulse arises in your flesh.
That's it. I'm muting it.
I think it's pretty superstar to just sing loudly and try to dance to this.
Oh, I want to feel the heat with somebody!
Why are there lyrics from Earth in this game?
It doesn't stop. A seal? Have you?
Yes, I've turned it off.
She yells, holding the contact mic in her
Call
hand.
the compressor! The place is gonna come down!
Fuck! I can't shut it up! The signal's passed! It's not in here! It's...
This is it. A great roar. The vault of the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. It's coming down.
Egghead, don't stop it!
But then it stops. Totally and utterly. As if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everybody is staring at Egghead, holding a dangling cable in his hand. A black 3-pin connector.
Egg.
I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore. You did good, Egg. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that.
4 years. 22 people. Millions of reals. All that time? This is what we were up against. Just erased it. Suliswolf isn't gonna believe this.
Yeah, but did you record it though? It was dope. I think we can use it.
Yes, Andre. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now. Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you,
Dr. Robotnik.
officer. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That's a start.
It was
Kim, did
very
you hear
happening
that?
too. I think you're right. There is something going on here. And you need to be very careful with it.
I promise, officer. We will not play it again.
Never heard anything like it.
Mathematical information from the anomaly presented as a waveform. That's what it was technically. Theoretically, I have no idea. I've never even heard of anything like this.
A voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure.
You going right to that
Our
guy?
lead designer. And maybe some of the producers too. and some of the riders, if they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear.
That it wasn't her fault. Or theirs.
They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording, although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway.
What happens now? Are you going to conclude?
I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters, maybe meet Sulispov. Also devise further measurements.
I want you to know that's totally chill with us.
I don't care, but thank you anyway.
That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot in truth. For her, at least.
Now, I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this. Or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind.
Yes, and we have to get back to stabilizing Martinez. Instead of demolishing it with loud bass noise of unknown origins.
That sounds like quitter talk.
Hard thing lets go in your stomach. You're still alive. You have an explanation for all this. Somewhere deep in you. You just don't have the pieces yet.
Form a theory on the 2mm hole in the world. That's so interesting. We're gonna revisit that later, though. For now... Just don't save right now. So I'm gonna go outside, and then I'm gonna save, and then I'm gonna restart the stream. But I think I finally fully understand what keeps causing the game to, like, ruin OBS. Welcome back. So, to answer the question, my understanding, and I'm 90-something% sure I have the scope of this now. I think the thing that's causing the problem... Listen, my computer's not a powerhouse. I never really intended it to stream graphically intensive games. That was not the purpose. Most of the stuff that I stream is either on console or is, like, retro graphics or, like, visual novel or something. It's not terribly graphically taxing. So, because my computer's not incredibly powerful, I think what's happening is that there are times when the game thinks that something is so exciting that it needs to zoom out and take the whole scope of a fairly large location. And I think this fits all the pieces of the things that I've noticed causing problems. So one, the disco ball in there was creating, like, lighting challenges, which in small enough scale doesn't seem to be enough to ruin my OBS recordings. But I've noticed also that when the camera moves of its own accord, that can cause trouble. But earlier, before the start of that scene, when we were asking for everyone's opinions throughout the church, that also wasn't causing problems with the recording. But I think when it was rendering, like, the entirety of the church and I didn't have any ability to control what scale it was at, and the lighting engine, and trying to render, like, debris and stuff falling, I think that is the type of thing that causes the problem. So I got a little bit of that in the basement when we found the fridge. And I think it's because, like, when you first go into that room, it tries to, like, get the whole scope of the basement. I think I got a touch of it, just barely, doing the karaoke performance. And that's a similar sort of thing where the camera's, like, moving across the room with the disco ball. Somehow I don't think that caused a major problem, but I think it's still caused a slight issue. And I forget what the other one that caused a major problem was. I guess it was just being in the church. I'm not totally sure about that, but the other ones seem fairly consistent with those elements. Regardless, there you go. That's my answer to that question. Alcadius had asked, though, is it that OBS can't handle the sometimes existential commentary of the game, making it spiral out of control as it tries to contemplate its own meaning? Hopefully not, but I suppose I can't rule that out. Now, I genuinely believe that it would be safe for me to go back in the church and not ruin the rest of my day. We are approaching 9 p.m., though. In-game, not IRL. Let's zoom in a little bit on us, though, because I think that takes some of the pressure off. Doesn't immediately seem to be causing trouble.
You got us in, cop. I can't believe you got us in.
Do you think we've synced with his signs
With
yet?
wonder in his sharp eyes.
Between you and me.
Hey, we did.
I don't know if you've noticed this about me. I'm a little suspicious of authority.
No.
You really came through for the hardcore underground.
Yes, you really came through for the hardcore underground. How come?
Kim, I don't understand. You seem upset, and I'm unable to identify the cause.
Andre is busy cutting some slightly less lame, but still quite ungainly shapes on the church floor, sweating profusely. Estelle using her contact mic to listen to a tree underwater. The one with the large head is blasting the dance track on repeat, while the stained glass window behind him is rattling from the bass. Sire, the tent. 'Twas a security risk. And in here, sanctuary. 'Twas only noble of you.
Oh, I'm finally answering Kim's question after like a whole bunch of observation and whatnot. I'm a corrupt cop, Kim. This is a corrupt scheme. Oh man. I'm genuinely into the hardcore lifestyle. I'm the hypnotic dance music cop.
Okay.
What he means is, you're right. I do not understand. Do whatever you have to do to keep your nose out of the bottle.
What do you think about this church?
It's a miracle of carpentry. Dead bodies carved into total shapes. Now it can be something more.
How old do you think it is?
320 years. A little more. The first settlers built it, plus 6 more like it. On the coast here was one of the first
unlikely.
things they did. Must have been really scared of something. I understand.
I mean, by the coast, you can't possibly mean the stretch of the coast that I've been existing on, because this is clearly the church on it.
Alone on an uninhabited archipelago, forced to face themselves and nature. Pre-industrial quantities of solitude. The sea, perhaps something more fundamental.
He means something paranatural. He must...
I would want to build a safe place for myself and my own as well.
Something more fundamental, like the sound anomaly?
Maybe. Maybe they were unable to face the nature of the world, perishing.
What's the style of this
A
church?
cop who's into building critique. Okay then, this is folk DeLoreanism, lawmongerer. It's a subset of early DeLorean architecture.
What's that like?
Total. Everything between an ancient concrete cathedral and a glass cube is DeLoreanism. This is just an homespun version of it. Folksy stuff. Early mass production. They made thousands like this. Does that help you out?
What would a DeLorean building look like? Would it be just a glass cube?
Like that woman there. Vertical, thin, white. A false image of grandeur. The source of the system is up there. You're at the bottom. They really dug that power vertical. Like to show off large and intricate structures. Arches, spires. Put you down with them. They were really into painting everything white too. Virginal shit, you know. Marriage shit. Virtue and tyranny.
Part of me wants to say 2 because I think it would be an interesting commentary from this character after everything we've witnessed. But I feel like it's disingenuous to say anything other than 1, considering, again, everything we've witnessed, up to and including earlier, when we had an option to say something like, normally when I think about relationships, I get a bad feeling.
Right.
Takes a bullet from the toolbox and spits on it before shining it. The church isn't painted white, I don't think.
Stands to reason it used to be white on the outside, before the sea wind took all the paint off.
That might be true.
Slowly, peeled by the wind, your skin crawls from the sensation as you look around.
Did you say something about dead bodies? I legitimately don't remember.
Dead bodies of perennial plants. Sigma functions have left this place. It's a good thing we came along. The spiritual collapse has been total.
Huh?
I saw some piglets suckling their dead mother. Have you heard this one, cop man? After a short while, they shuddered and went away. They had sensed that she could no longer see them, and that she wasn't like them anymore. What they loved in their mother weren't her body, but whatever it was that made her body live. End of quote. This is an high-quality carcass. The power of hypnotic beats and hard bass is needed to reanimate it.
Where is that quote from?
A Sarais man who lived a long time ago. An ancient hardcore brother.
So you're not a fan of the religious structure of the Dolores Day Church?
A 3,000-year-old tyrannical regime of history. Built and maintained by hundreds of generations of self-appointed intellectuals. It's false core.
And you propose dance music will supplant the system?
Melodic dance music. Regular dance music wasn't hard enough.
Probably true.
And yes, I do.
You know what this kind of stuff goes well with.
I don't need to be an arc. Mainly, I just think there's kind of a funny little narrative thread going on where, like, I'm just completely oblivious to the drugs here.
Your pleasure response was more like, just wondering if he has any.
Do you like the glass?
I don't. Fuck her giving me the evil eye.
It's kind of just a statement of fact. You wanted to get inside the church, and now you don't like the stained glass window.
I didn't know it was in here. We have to get rid of it. Dismantle it. Can't dance with a giant mass murderer looking at ya. Not a good look for the club.
I don't know, I think it's kind of a funny vibe for the club.
Mellow, man, mellow. No one's a mass murderer. This is a house of love. Mass murder on the floor.
Three's all about cancel culture, huh? Yeah, but like, who isn't accused of being a mass murderer these days? Yeah, I like that one. It's dumb.
No one says Arno Van Eyck is a mass murderer. The Anodic pioneer
Picture an
Reapfel
egg.
is not a mass murderer. He is not accused of mass murder.
I feel like you protest too much. I feel like you're trying to drive this point home very hard, and if it was actually true, you would not have to work this hard to convince me that he was not a mass murderer.
Likewise, no one says Jermaine Egghead or Andre are mass murderers.
That's not
You
true.
can live entirely outside that suspicion. Billions of people go about not being guilty of mass murder. Just not her.
But have you considered that she's
She
pretty?
invented the beauty you're feeling. She and her glass cutters and iconographers. You set the standard, alright. Then you meet it. It's effective like that, but it is also very soft of core. That so-called beauty of hers.
I don't really know if any of these matter, but I sort of like to imagine that, like, I'm trying to impress him now. No, I like harder core.
In the true life of tomorrow, every woman will be an innocence. They will wear neon headbands and leggings, and they will glow in the dark.
That sounds pretty rad, actually.
Oh my living God. It's there. Suddenly you feel like you need to plummet into it. Look away. Say something.
I think at this point I'm done talking about her.
What a strange choice of words.
I don't want to think about her anymore. Why is that?
Caustic. Overflowing with negativity.
What's happening?
That can't be healthy. What's happening here? Why do you keep coming back to this window?
How did I take damage from that? It's a nice window.
Why do you keep saying that if it isn't making you feel well? Don't come back to this anymore. Stop talking about that damn window.
Let's talk about the glasswork again. How are you settling
Hard to
it?
say, cop man. Signs in here are distinctly wild. Gonna take a while before everything's properly synced. I did get to talk to the crab man though.
You mean Tiago?
Anyway, he's been giving me kind of a psychic rundown of this place. Dude's seen some crazy shit, but he's actually a lot like us.
I feel like because of my character journey and working on the Wasteland of Reality, which came from the Crabman, I feel like it's kind of interesting to ask. You mean the sobriety stuff isn't too restricted?
Talking to him, I realise that sobriety can be pretty hardcore too. I gotta respect it.
Likewise, I now respect Noid a little more.
The man picks up on stuff, and he knows a lot about the church. I got a lot to learn from him. Good thing you didn't squash him.
What did he tell you about the
The
church?
Crabman's been lurking here for a while. He's experienced things. Things that give off bad signs. As far as we can tell, the Ubies built this place about 320 years ago as a sarcophagus.
You mean there's dead bodies?
Not like a literal sarcophagus. I'm just being metaphorical.
Oh, okay.
Encasement, confinement, of something they were afraid of. Something new and unheard of on the Isla. I think that's what the Crabman is experiencing when he climbs around upstairs. Like, this is some old world shit the Ubies had heard about. I thought the best way to deal with it was to build a church surrounding it to contain it.
Like the spooky void?
I don't know. And it's not something they properly understood either, what it does. But it's what this Sona person is looking for, and trying to measure. It'll be fruitless though. She won't be able to measure it. People like that always want to measure everything. All those things they really can't.
The wood creaks as a gale blows by. Outside, dust particles fall through the darkness, settling down on the age-bleached floorboards. The structure does not feel particularly durable.
Structure does not feel particularly durable.
No. It's pretty fucking unsound if you ask me. They should have built a club for anodic music around it instead. Anodic music will definitely contain whatever we're dealing with. And if it can't, well...
Makes you think she's gonna fail, considering I've done this out of order and she's basically succeeded.
Seems to be the trend around here, doesn't it? You can't measure shit like this. It's not like substance.
Ooh. I found a doomed commercial area in Martinez proper. Maybe it's the same thing the Ubis were trying to contain.
Like a concentric ring spreading out. The struggling villages. And that is what caused the communards to fail in defending the beachhead. Yeah, a lot of failure has gone down around here.
Think there's any merit to it?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It's not a thing we can answer, cop man. Even I have limits. I'm a limited psi person.
Well, if it's without substance, I guess there's nothing to worry about.
Maybe you can figure things out, cop man. I think we got on a good level here. The signs are syncing up well.
Why are you so suspicious of everything?
Suspicious people are esoteric people. We don't go around spilling everything to Johnny Law. They don't call me Noid for nothing.
Do they call you Noid because you steal pizzas in the 1980s?
It took us setting out for this whole enterprise to get our signs synced.
Why are you called Noid?
It's short for paranoid.
May I ask why?
A reasonable question. Say I get hurt. I want to make sure it never happens again. So I analyse the situation. Exercise caution. Caution is suspicion.
Ah, crap, I'm Noid, aren't I? What are you suspicious of?
It'd be easier to list stuff I'm not suspicious of.
Ah, crap, I'm definitely
I'm not
Noid.
suspicious of sound and colour. Mechanics and chemistry also have a trueness about them. Most anything else deceives. Wants to steal your life away.
Okay, maybe it's a little more extreme than
dangerous
me.
line of questioning. You should prod him on.
Sure, what are the most suspicious things?
I don't have a top 10 list of things I'm most suspicious of, but if I had one, the left-right complex would be number 1. Number 2 would be their sole accomplishment, the pig-wheat paradigm.
Oh my god, question 1 is, does this mean you're mentally ill? Well, What's suspicious about the production of pork and wheat?
It's our only shit. We should make better use of not being animals or cereal grain ourselves.
What's bad about cereal grain? Having enough food could be the precursor for other stuff.
Yes, having food is means to an end. But the left never talks about the end, only the means. Caps are likewise suckers, constantly sleepless in worry.
And the left-right
I
stuff?
prefer not to. Both ask the wrong questions. Any spark of light from either one is accidental. Their combined movement's only concern is producing enough pig and wheat for everyone. The end goal of humanity. The original mistake was assuming that words have more being than bodies. That's what led us astray. Far from our true lives, but we may yet find a way back.
Whatever this true life is, you feel it's the real centerpiece of this mythology.
Really debating whether I should ask him if this means he's mentally ill. It's a very rude question I wouldn't ask in real life, but my character is kind of a sociopath.
Mental illness is a term that powers you to homogenize people. I think I don't reach mental illness. I am merely politically ill.
That's a fair answer.
Element.
Well, that was stimulating. Let's talk about a different
His
thing.
eyes flicker.
You mentioned true life. Go on.
But life is true if it's free from fear, an internal division among oneself. And others, mankind has seeds of greatness in it. A germinal will come, a return to trueness. It will be hardcore.
How would you go about returning to true life?
Beats and bright lights to shatter falsehoods. Nerve impulses for the collective body. We are very much alike in basic structure. An hard enough beat would awaken everyone to a truer calling. In unity.
Just like that. The speed freak is right in your face. His eyes burning. His comrades look on worriedly. The young man is dead serious about this.
You're advocating a noise-based society?
Many non-Occidental cultures share a beat at their art. Thus, they are closer to true, hardcore life. There's just never been enough of them, and they had to rely on some extremely basic percussion.
You know, I can think of some music-based worlds, but they're things like Eternal Sonata and Parappa the Rapper, and I'm not entirely sure you want to base your society on that, despite the fact that I like both of those games. You keep mentioning hardcore, but what does it mean to you?
Utmost dedication. Thoughts from the spinal cord. It's a potent superlative as well. Egghead usually has a better concept of the hardcore. He just really likes saying hardcore.
Is the definition of hardcore just saying hardcore?
Hardcore!
His friend shouts from behind the mix table with a smile surpassing your own in wideness. Total moon face and his eyes full of naive wonderment. That was vague. Dedication, something superlative.
Maybe you're being too specific about it. Try consulting with your spinal cord.
Give me enough dice rolls and it'll happen.
Oh yeah, sure thing.
Oh. I'm extremely bad at conceptualization. Surprising no one. Sorry, Demolition, what's the name for what? The Artful Escape. Is that another game or world based on music? Tell me about your clothes.
They're hardcore.
Is that
They're
it?
just clothes.
Thought there'd be more to it.
It's just a style, you know. Normal hard style. Anyone can wear it.
Internalize the hardcore aesthetic. I mean, this could be the thing that helps us find the new sound. Hold on a second. How many... I've got, like, multiple conceptualization checks that I could go and redo if I was to try this, fail this, and spend a skill point on it. It's not very likely that I would succeed, obviously. I mean, yeah, 3% is I literally need boxcars, double 6. Do I have... I honestly don't remember if I have anything that helps conceptualization. I feel like I might have, like, 1? Maybe not. Maybe not even. Maybe not sub 1? I have a conceptualization shirt. Just out of interest. Oh, that's probably why I'm getting more rhetoric checks.
Yo, man. What's on your mind?
Ah, so I'm right at the borderline there. By putting on the shirt, I actually get, like, 11 will now be a success. Yeah, why not?
Aggressive, monotonous, but also somehow sacrum, primitive, yet futuristic, like a machine man. Nothing exists but the here and now. All are one purpose. All you've managed is a list. The parts don't form a whole.
Literally up to 6 skill points banked. Ah, kind of makes me want to put a point in conceptualization, but it has a really low skill cap, so I might hold off a little longer. I didn't take any damage from that. That's fun. What do I spend the rest of the stream doing? I'm never gonna finish Thursday. It's the worst.
She's whistling
It's
a
taking
melody,
forever.
her trusty contact mic attached to a wooden pulpit. At the sound of your footsteps, she stops what she was doing and turns to you.
Hey there. I've been recording some new audio from all these beams and rafters. The sounds travelling through the wood are pretty cool. Creaks and stuff. Like you're underwater, you know? But like, underwater inside a tree.
Demolition, to your point before, I don't believe I've heard of Artful Escape. I do think I've heard of Stray Gods, the Greek musical. That's a game, right? Is that out? I thought that they just released, like, early trailers for it. I didn't think it was coming out that soon.
But that's not really what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to thank you instead.
You know what? I do think I've been a little bit too sensible with some of my dialogue options. As obnoxious of a thing as this is to say, I think I should probably superstar cop and be like, yeah, I mean, probably. You should probably do that.
So thanks for getting me and my friends in here. And we even found some new associates, such as they are.
I have to assume that this is a slightly different response than otherwise. She ignores your vapid egocentrism.
Good.
How's everyone doing?
Noid is getting a read on the place. I think he finds the carpentry very impressive. Andre's been setting up the compressor and dancing. Egghead's been keeping the party up. He's got the stage under control. Sauna, the programmer, she's doing whatever she does behind that radio computer of hers. She doesn't talk to us much, and the crabman hasn't shown himself, thank God.
But didn't Noid say that he spoke to the crabman? Tell me about your associates. I don't actually care, but, like, it will advance a quest and give me points.
You helped us out. I can repay the favor. What do you want to know?
I love that Suna is #1 on the list just because that's, like, the dumbest progression I can imagine. Tell me about your friends. Okay, let's start with a person you basically don't know.
She's a bit odd, I have to say. Doesn't talk much. I'm not really sure how to vibe with her, you know? Seems like she's not in a very good mood most of the time.
So Stray Gods comes out later this year, but you really love the demo. It sounded really cool. I mean, that idea is really interesting. What kind of game is it? I got a vague sense of, like, visual novel, but I'm not sure I'm really remembering all the details from the trailer.
Earlier today, she told me about Welkins. and she seemed oddly happy, like she had some idea with those little creatures. Some artistic idea. I didn't really listen, I was busy with my mic.
What about the Crabman? I
the
heard you like
Crabman.
him.
Still gives me the creeps the way he moves. But he doesn't actually come down that much, just climbs around the rafters. I just tried to stay away from the Crabman. But he talks to Noid. They seem to have some thing going on. Beats
What do
me.
they talk about?
Noid said they get along somehow. They're both crazy enough, I guess.
Multiple choice visual novel with some quick time events. Oh, it actually sounds cool. That sounds like something I might stream maybe, if people are interested in that. What does Crabman do upstairs?
He doesn't really answer our questions, see? Not that it's easy to ask them. What are we supposed to do? Yell up at the tower?
Yeah, I think so. Let's go
Who do
back
you
to the
wanna know
order
about?
menu. Tell me about Andre.
He's a cool guy. Doesn't really come off as one, but he is. To me, at least.
Do you love him? Do you want to hug
She
and
rubs her
kiss him?
sides, but not from cold. Her shoulders are relaxed. She must have taken a hit, or she's on an upswing.
He takes care of shit. Sorry. I mean, he's got a vision. For what life should be, you know? He tries to push things until everything falls into place. He's an organizer.
What does he
Nothing.
organize? Socks?
But then again, there's nothing to organise around here either. He really wants this church thing to work. Must have taken it as a sign when he found it abandoned like that. Said it was an augury. I don't know where he got that from. Andre's not super intelligent. I've never seen him so psyched about anything though. And he's often psyched. Looks sort of desperate, like it's his last chance or something. Or maybe he was just high. I mean, not
High?
that he does
Wait a minute.
drugs, just high, you know?
My responses to that are on life, on his mother's love, or relax, girl. We're the police officers, but we're corrupt, rotten to the marrow. You can tell us about drugs. I don't give a crap. Again, I sort of like this narrative that, like, because I absolutely couldn't possibly pass that check before, that I just never have any hope of understanding that there are drugs here. On his mother's
yes.
love?
Anyway.
Is he your
Yes.
boyfriend?
Who do you want to
Tell me
know
about the others. Kind of surprised there wasn't any follow-up to that, but she did sort of answer my question.
He's a
tell me about Noid.
like the rest of us. Okay, maybe not Egg, I don't know about him, but Noid and the rest are from
No one knows
Fulberg,
about it.
making the pilgrimage up north to visit the Elysium.
I just want to point out that we've been in this church a really long time, and it was only when we lost control of the camera and zoomed out that we had any issues. So I really
He's
think my
real
theory
hardcore about
stands.
the lifestyle.
What does he
What do you mean
do?
Like for a living?
No, I meant for breakfast.
He's
Of
a
course for a
carpenter,
living.
Trained and all. He's very good, he just doesn't have the mindset to work like that. In a shop somewhere.
Is that because of his hardcore beliefs
Not
and
to
the
sound
spine
too
stuff?
dramatic, but I wouldn't make light of his belief system when he's around. Noid's a serious person. He's serious about the lifestyle.
It was implied that all of you were concerned about how intense he was.
It's
Tell me
just
more about the
something poor
pilgrimage.
Fulberg kids do every spring. To pass the time, we walk the entire
From
length of
Springer?
Boogie Street, up to Jamrock. Or as much as possible. I
Why
dunno,
wouldn't
man.
it be?
Have you been down Boogie Street? It's a little bewildering.
I'm sorry, have I not told you about the raging alcoholic who recently drank himself into oblivion so deep he can't remember what sounds like the biggest street in the city? Let's say I haven't been down
Okay.
Boogie Street.
Then you should go and take a look, I guess. Boogie Street is cool. It's got a lot of immigrants and all kinds of different people.
It's unlikely I'll make it there. Chest pains. Need to continue drinking, but thank you. I might just do that if I make it there alive. She goes to
Who do
say
you wanna
something
know
and
about?
doesn't.
What do you mean?
How about Egg? What does he think he's doing when he
Oh,
yells all that stuff?
He's the party boy. And Nordic
What's a
music
party?
doesn't really do vocals in the traditional sense. Vocals are thought of as rock. That's to say they're a bit backward. No offence if you like rock music though. Rock music's cool by me.
I can't answer 3 hard enough. You don't have to tell me rock music is dead. I abandoned rock music a long time ago. Can't disco to
okay.
rock.
Anyway, even if you don't have vocals, you still need someone to say something every now and then, right? To urge things on. That's where the party
Not
boy
always,
comes
but
in.
typically.
He basically just stands on the stage and dances and yells how awesome everything is. It's very catchy.
It's honestly more of like an MC, which was kind of like a late 90s, early 2000s thing. Yeah, we're like in my wheelhouse.
I
Shut up
understand.
about it.
People are usually afraid to do things if others aren't already doing them. Dancing makes you dance, like sneezing makes you sneeze, or yawning makes you...
Sneeze?
Anyway.
Where's he from?
Actually,
How long has he been here?
We don't know where he's from. Or who he is, really.
Is he just like a muse? Like an embodiment of
One time we
creativity?
were out partying somewhere in backwater Forburg. Or maybe even Coal City. I can't remember. Maybe it was Coal City. Egg was yelling along to some jam someone was spinning. All night long.
Oh, by the way, take a
Just
drink.
kept yelling until he didn't have a shred of voice left. When the sun came up over the mines. There were mines? Yeah. It was in Coal City.
I like how stream of conscious that was written. I just like wouldn't let the mines in the
Egg came
Coal
with
City
us.
go.
He made this wheezing puppy dog sound all the way back. Couldn't even speak. It was definitely Coal City, because it took us 2 days to walk back to the fort. He just wheezed the whole way. We never really asked why he came with us, or who he was. I think his name is Jermaine.
Are we not certain of that? We've
was
been calling
sweet.
him that.
You can see it must
Aw.
have been a great night. The memory causes her to go silent for a moment or two. You wish you'd been there.
Who do you want to know about?
Tell me about you,
Me?
fool.
Again?
You forgot to
I
tell me
told
about
you. I'm a silver
you.
bird.
There's that phrase again. It really reminds you of something.
It means I
What does
don't
that
answer
mean?
questions about myself. Is
But
there a
I am the
that will stop
law.
me from lying, though?
That would
I
depend on
hope
the
so.
circumstances.
I have no
Thank
other
you.
dialogue option.
Sure.
Other questions. Reaction speed to catch the silver bird. What? Hold on. What do I have for that? Am I already maxed out for reaction speed? I want to say yes. I feel like I don't have a lot of reaction speed. Now, it could save me some time to memorize what these clothes do, but I'm not doing it. Minus reaction speed. Ah. This hat will improve my reaction speed. And the shoes do as well, right? Man, our reaction speed is
Welcome
not so
back.
good. 17% is like not a lot of percent, to be honest with you.
The silver bird has already flown away. I will catch it later.
Nothing goes over my head. I would catch it. Ah, shoot. I missed. I guess that's all for now. Hey, Cotillion, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. For some reason, I felt like it panned to someone further back. I thought it was a cell. I want to talk to Egg real quick. I don't think there's a lot to say here, but
Yeah! Harder car!
I don't have the big option I thought would be available. That's a weird sound we heard before, or aggressive absence of sound.
It was awesome and scary. Very hardcore. Too hardcore, in fact. I couldn't control it at all. It sucks
What
up
happened?
all the air in the mix until it's the only thing left. starts compressing itself and everything around it. Completely fills up the headspace. Extreme!
Inside your chest, the heart beats still with the after effects of the sound. Imagine if you could harness that power, making it pulse.
What if this is the answer to Van Eyck's jam? We could use the sound for the bass.
But how?
Andre's compression algorithm? I don't remember whatever that is. Interfacing. Wow, that's a tough check. At a current +5, we still need 11? No, we need 10 because of the +1. Can I actually improve that? I don't think so. I think I'm at max interfacing. Can't. Those gloves are worse than the gloves I had. Gloves the only thing that do interfacing? That might just like literally be a thing. No, I'm gonna put my perception visor back on because, like, why would I not do? So interfacing currently maxed at +2.
Good morning! Yeah! Harder car!
Ah, shoot. Interfacing has such a low skill cap, I can only put one more point into it. I think I should hold off on trying to do that check as a result. Because it's not very likely. So I'd probably be better off trying to find other things to boost it if possible. I still think the Van Eyck thought might be involved. How do you like it in the church?
Back on the case! No disgrace! Bring it down to party place!
Someone write these down, they could be lyrics.
The first page of the second chapter!
So bummed that this is such a hard check. It's very important to me that I accomplish that task. So it's 1950. How do I waste, like, a negligible amount of time? I don't think there's anything else to say to this guy right now, is there?
Good to see you. It's to
Hey, what's with your
express
hair?
my individuality.
Is that a bald spot? It's hard to tell for sure with the fused together spikes, but it looks like he's balding.
Is it
because
'cause
I'm
you're balding?
Yes. I want to fuse the remains of my hair together before it leaves me. I want to show my hair. I don't give a fuck how old you think I am. I'm 20. Not 20.
How old are you? Is it important
Of
to be an
course it is.
individual?
Otherwise, I'd just be another poor guy with no education and no money. General issue, man. Now I'm all that, and I have radical spikes. Maybe it was
Fair
a
enough.
bad idea. Anyway,
He looks at the molten toothbrush? Is that his own
goodbye,
hair?
officer.
Oh, by the way, I'm totally wrong. There is something you can do to
Yes,
pass
what
the
is
time,
it?
which is like read your case notes, right? What is the -10 to Pale Unknown? I mean, frankly, this isn't like a lot worse than the check would be if I didn't have a -10 to it. No, I keep doing the math wrong, right? I need it to be like 21, so I'm not actually that close. But maybe I just read like 2 case files or something. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this room. I think I've done everything for now, other than checks I don't want to commit to just yet. I'm not surprised there's a lot to do in here. Frankly, I expected it to be a good portion of the stream. I just didn't think that I'd have to, like, wait a bunch of time for... them to move in. Changed on the map? What changed on the map? Oh, the slide bar is the worst. It just doesn't work, like, at all. Knick-knack stand? Where even is that? So the dice maker check reset because I learned something about the nature of the cursed zone. That makes sense. I don't think I have any idea what the knick-knack thing is. Is that in the pawn shop, maybe? To, like, find action figures or whatever that was for? Look how well it works. Look how well it how well look how well look how well it works. Look how well it works. Look how well it works. No, we could definitely go talk to Dice Maker Lady. What's the mirror? Here. Send me here? No, something desynced. Don't love that. Was it me trying to, like, manage that scroll bar? Did that break the stream? I gotta tell you, that does not speak to it working correctly.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it, adorned with the expression.
What's the mirror challenge? I'm confused by something. That's fine. I'll just ignore it. I do literally think that menu... I think the scroll bar on that menu is so bad that it caused my computer to desync the audio on the recording. That's just horrible. How do you not make the scroll bar work? I'm sorry, is it like 1978? Did we not test that? Take me to the waterfront. I'm going to need tools. I honestly don't ever remember what the shortest way to get to the Dice Maker Lady is. I should, but I don't. It's like somewhere over here. But the doors in this stretch somehow just confound me. They don't work how I expect them to work ever.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
I did find the 2mm hole in the world. I think I have more Shiver stuff. Give me a second. This is plus Shivers. Oh, and it's an article that doesn't have Shivers. So Shivers. Is the shirt Shivers? The shirt is also Shivers. I would love to have some good pants, but this game doesn't have any good pants. Oh. Pain threshold half load. This is also Shivers. I mean, it's like a completely different outfit, but like +3 to Shivers.
Oh,
that's pretty good, huh?
Are you looking for a die?
83!
A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere.
Hey Neha, the curse is real and I figured out why it spared you.
Talk about this?
It's because you're not in the same building as the others. This isn't technically the doomed commercial area.
About? My address is exactly the same. Rue de Saint-Guilain 10.
No, the old coal plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture. Its ruins swallowed up. Yet it has a different address in the heart of the city.
No, this used to be a coal plant. Touch the safety curtains. You're in the chimney of another building.
Any sense.
She looks around the makeshift nest that she carved out for herself.
My business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from?
Let's just say I have my own methods. Unusual methods. I listen to a hole in the world.
Does it mean that I'm safe from failure?
Don't let her become complacent. She still needs to ward her soul against the evil forces.
I want to just say 2, but I think I'm going to say 1 because it will actually inspire her to do something.
She starts laughing, her fingers trying to rub away the exhaustion from her face.
Do you know what this is?
She raises her hand to reveal a piece of metal shining on her index finger. Doesn't look like anything to me.
I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it into the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan.
See, the curse is real. I bet you didn't run this little jewelry shop from the protective depths of the chimney.
Right. I didn't. It wasn't just the jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world that you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed. And now you're telling me what? That it was all because I didn't run my little shops and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney?
Yes, coincidence is all that safeguards us.
Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed. It's such a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you want it. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be, you can try again. Still, there is something inherently violent even about dice rolls. It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. Some alternative ending, or an entirely different world.
Picks up a pair of dice from the table and examines them under the light.
Thanks for sharing your theories, officer.
Gave me a new thought, which is an unexpected consequence of this. Speaking of thoughts, God, this is taking forever. Precarious world. Temporary research bonus, all red checks fail. That's insane. Hold on. I have a thing to do. Which is, I think I'm going to reset the stream again, because it looks awful. And also because, to be entirely honest with you, it's pretty much just me and Demolition, who might be brushing his teeth right now. It's a slow Saturday. Better have a huge reward. Well, here's the thing. I mean, it's essentially always optional to do a red check, right? Like, there's a distinction between a red check and, like, an invisible check that happens in a conversation that can't be redone. Those aren't optional, they just sort of trigger. But, like, an actual red check, like, you kind of have to initiate. Okay, hold on again. Okay, we're back. I'm gonna take off the flashlight and read that thing. Also, maybe change my entire outfit so that it's not solely based on shivers. This, I guess. Now, you know what? Give me my trash bag. And then, trauma tie. My beloved suggestion jacket. I don't want this on all the time because of authority reasons. I don't want that one. No, I should just like put the armor back on. No good pants in this game. Just none. That's probably everything. So that thought. Seems like the point of this game is victory, the absence of defeat on all fronts. Victory in business ventures and creative undertakings. Victory in love and other people. Political victory, ideological victory, even sexual victory. Definitely a lot of object-based victories too, having things and not losing them. One problem though, not a lot of victors in sight. Everyone's mostly losing. Why is that? How do you not lose? That's so weird. That's just so weird. I feel like it could do something really good, but I'm hesitant to care about it. It just seems so uncertain. Cursed. So, I've really kind of lost patience for this never-ending Thursday. I'm really inclined to try and, like, read my case notes to try and end it. I'm wondering what the most efficient way to do that is. Primarily in the sense of, like... I mean, I really don't think I have anything else I want to do today, right? Not really. Well, let me go check that Titus check again. There's already disco inside. I don't like the look of that. That looks pretty bad. So let's not do the Titus check while this is happening. So if I read my case notes here and then go upstairs, will I get rid of Kim? This binder is so confusing to behold.
It's the ledger you found in O, and an incredibly cool piece of kitchen tissue is stuck to the back.
Forgot about that incredibly cool kitchen tissue. As I recall, this incredibly manageable check is supposed to cause me psychological damage. I should consider doing that at the very end of the day, maybe? Or not at all? Let's
It takes
read
about
a
half
case
an hour
file.
to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
The unsolvable
AKA
case.
Leslie and Burke, a.k.a. The public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in general, know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk, you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high.
That does seem to cover my
Leslie
bases.
will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
Couldn't we just keep them off the streets?
You would
We're the
think
law.
that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition, because that's where the action is.
Alright, go on.
Fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't
Just like when I make the
for 10
expression.
years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
No, I should have been paying attention. There's a quiz. I think Leslie's the flasher, right? This school bar works normally. Yeah, Leslie's the flasher. Is this that hard? Oh, no, I broke it again. Wow, that really is hard, huh? The game absolutely hates scroll bars. God, I'm so sick of this. What an exhausting feature of this game. For just, like, little stuff to just completely break my computer. I absolutely loathe it. Every, like, week, I genuinely ask myself whether I actually want to keep streaming this game. Mostly because of this. This is very annoying. I cannot stress to you enough how much work this has generated for me. I have done almost as much post-production on these streams as I have spent time streaming. It's horrible. Horrible.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore.
It's the
Can't
good
get
news?
out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one? Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Well, I guess it's good that I can basically do that at will now. Let's put the ledger away. Reset the stream again. I refuse to even attempt to explain to you how much I hate this. because it will just be me on a loop talking about how absolutely wretched this is. Alright, so we can't scroll ever again or go to any cutscene in the game without it breaking. And now I have, like, honest to God, like 6 separate recordings for this one, like, less than 3-hour live stream. Really gonna have to rethink our life decisions soon. I don't know how much more of this game there is. I would love to finish it, but I just cannot endure this. It is so horrible. Okay, got like 10 minutes. I mean, it seems like it's probably relatively safe to open the compartment on the thing at the very end of the day. It may have permanent consequences. But like, I don't know. I think at this point, I'm inclined to just find out what the deal is. Since he got so upset about it, I assume it has something to do with the woman whose name and description we know nothing about. This is currently day 4. I still have no idea how to get the helmet, which I am vexed by. Hey, remember what I said before about that word? Meant it. I'm just gonna read another one.
The ledger you found in the trash. Oh, and an incredibly cool piece of kitchen. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
The next world mural might somehow reset my check about looking at that one mural that I don't think I care about, but, you know, something to do.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible, only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class."
Okay.
People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer.
That wasn't one of the names you said
Are
before.
assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the belles-lettres have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Do I ever find out who came up with it?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design.
Dang.
The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3.
I don't know what that means.
The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
I really want to scroll up, but I know that's wrong. I mean, I feel like my character is inclined to say that the mural is right, so sure. Because I think it was like, you can only have love in the next world, and he doesn't believe in love or marriage or whatever.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
Oh my god, 3. That's not 4. I don't know, is it? I think this is a political choice, right? I like choosing other.
No one cares what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger. What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done?
Oh, I got a centrist achievement. That's fun. Alright. A bunch of time has passed.
Not much has changed.
What the heck just happened?
Yes?
Well, it didn't get rid of Kim. So that's, like, kind of a problem. Do I have to go outside for that to happen? Does it count as going outside if I go upstairs and outside? So that's a no, huh? God, I really hate that. That was kind of the crux of my question before, is I was hoping that I could, like, go up here and be in a safe place away from the lights before doing that. To get rid of him and not have to traverse the lights multiple times. Which should be fine, but I sure don't trust it. I don't think he leaves you at the shack, but I think it may keep him locked to you while you're inside to prevent, like, weird fail states, is my guess. Maybe he only leaves you at the shack. That would be extremely weird in my opinion, but, like, he should leave now, right?
It's getting cold. This late in...
Good night, officer.
So I had to do it manually? I thought he left of his own accord the first time. It's not the thing I want. So I need to, well, I should probably save. I should probably save. Right? Like, I feel like at least one time he did it by himself, which is what I assume why I was under the impression that that worked then. Maybe I'm just crazy, I don't know. I'm so mad at this point that I'm, like, not even being objective, to be entirely fair with you. I have something called safety save. Yeah, I would like more end-of-day breakdowns, like, on day one. That was really good. I was disappointed when we didn't get them, and then I kind of forgot that that was, like, an expectation I even had. So, let's go back to the waterfront. I shouldn't have to go too far in the building to get the boots. I'm actually not sure it's far enough for the game to get mad about the flashlight.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. The body is reluctant to let go of the boots, as though it were its last bit of dignity.
You listen to me, Hanged Man. My ridiculously circuitous plan is almost 3/4 completed, and I won't have you stand in my way. Unless you want to tell me where the helmet is, but then, to be honest, I'm just going to come back for this anyway.
You're going to need to summon all your strength for this undertaking.
God, it's a physical instrument check.
Whatever you're planning to do, you need to do it before you catch pneumonia in the cold draft coming from deep inside the fridge.
Left foot.
It feels like the leg is going to come off along with the boot, but you're able to get the boot to move a centimeter or two.
Right boot.
It's not completely useless. You're able to reveal a little more of the putrid polymer sock beneath the boot. Just relax. This is easy. This is happening. See? The corpse doesn't care if you try to take his boots. He doesn't need them. He's probably glad to get rid of them.
Just that seating position.
He's too heavy to move by yourself. A great mass of dead muscles, with hoarfrost covering his milky eyes.
That's fair. Let's just twist them off one at a time.
This is the right method. It takes some time, but eventually the boots come off, with nasty slices of polymer sock stuck to even bigger pieces of skin and rotting flesh.
Take stock of the damage.
Not good. Let's pin this on the bear. The ice bear tore up his legs with its claws. As for the boots, you can't possibly do anything with them until you've cleaned and disinfected them thoroughly.
Now that does admittedly track. How do I do that?
Yes, these absolutely need to be washed before. The stink is incredible. Didn't the Whirling have a kitchen?
Oh my god, really? Okay. I'm guessing it's not going to tell me what's... yeah. Don't smell these boots. Better yet, don't think about the boots. Unless it's to think about how you're going to get them clean. For now, they're unsellable, unwearable, and just awful. Hey, maybe I can wash my death smell off in the kitchen as well. Does that seem cool and normal to everyone? No, just me? Well, what I do in my kitchen isn't any of your business, frankly. I should probably try to do this while Kim's out, so as much as I hate going back in here... well, I kind of need to go in here anyway, don't I? To go upstairs and talk to What's-Her-Face.
This industrial gas-powered stove has been used to prepare food for many hungry hostel guests. There are several pots and pans on hand. Getting the corpse residue out of these boots is going to require patience, and also a huge pot full of boiling water, soap, and white vinegar.
I'm really grateful that I passed that. Check out the cookware.
A commercial pot draws your attention. It's very large, gigantic even. It could be used to make enough stew to feed an entire city, and also to boil a putrid pair of death boots.
Check out the cleaning supply.
There is a variety of soaps and bleaches in the cabinet to the left of the stove. There is also a bottle of white vinegar in the cabinet next to the fridge.
I mean, it definitely said I wanted vinegar, so if the option is vinegar or no vinegar, I'm gonna go vinegar.
The delicious smells of cheap soap and vinegar waft up from the pot. All right now, chef. Light up the stove and boil them.
Add water and boil them boots.
The strong smell of vinegar forces you to step away from the pot. The water slowly comes to a boil.
I lost my rotting flesh boots, oh no. Wait.
Strips of polymer fabric and human tissue separate from the lining of the boots. They float to the bubbling surface.
Beautiful.
A two-course dinner of rotten flesh and hardened ceramic.
Wait, some more?
The boots look cleaner and cleaner. Those bits of human flesh are beginning to look cooked. You can smell it too.
That's an interestingly specific question, Demolition. What are my thoughts on vinegar? Not strongly positive. I tend to dislike the smell of vinegar, and I don't tend to like a lot of things with vinegar in them. At least not where it's like kind of noticeable it's still in there. I will say that my former neighbor, a woman who lived in this building who was also inadvertently my coworker. That's a long story I think I've mentioned to some degree before. Very, very fond of apple cider vinegar. And was the type to believe in like many holistic properties that it had, to the extent that she would get up early in the morning and make a mixture of apple cider vinegar and just literally spray it all over the car park in our building. And I think also around other parts of the building. but I mostly saw her do that. So I don't know if that was like the end of her rounds or something in the morning. Not my favorite, because I don't like that smell.
Just like beef stew.
Oh good, I'm glad that the boots smell like beef stew.
That's it, chef. The boots are as clean as they're going to get. Steam, dense with the smell of strange meat, disappears into the vent above the stove.
Dump the sock and flesh stew and examine your new
A
boots.
pair of real beauties. The boots are shiny, hot, and reek of vinegar. Just perfect.
Master Chef out. So what does that do for me? I have 7 skill points, by the way. Minus composure, plus 2 authority. Hello, nurse. Yeah, I do kind of feel like any negative that the armor gives, I just want to put an equal amount of positive skill points into my character so that I maintain my current baseline and can wear the whole suit of armor. Now, I'm really concerned about getting the helmet. How much? 30 minutes? So, like, basically at the latest possible time that it's still today. Let's do the upstairs thing. Maybe it'll take a half hour. I'm glad that she no longer believes in locking this door for any purpose at all. Family has a good balsamic vinegar salad dressing. Yeah, I mean, I don't like salad or dressing. Listen, I'm kind of a psychopath. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. I'm just like a mess of a human. Which is why I relate to this game and this character, but also kind of resent almost everything that it subjects me to. Does that make sense?
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
I know. Let's talk about Sunday.
Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer.
It's one of the first things I remember doing in Elysium.
Wow. Elysium. You don't hear that term often.
She's a glib girl, but she liked the wording.
Did you hear something Sunday night from my room?
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music.
Did I have any visitors?
I can't say. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo.
You mentioned loud disco music.
Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them.
She arches her eyebrow, waiting for it to connect with you.
Oh, we're huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Superstar Cop says we go on all right.
I don't know about that. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped, and there was a change of pace.
What happened?
A slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time, you were yelling along to it.
Was they singing this? Show her the empty case of the smallest church in St. Sen.
Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also...
What else?
That it doesn't matter anymore, and that we're alone now.
That we are alone now?
It's difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
When you say wounded, do you mean like a cool way? Like a wild beast?
Yes, it was very cool.
Oh, that's a relief.
Then you started screaming and trashed the place.
Are you certain I wasn't being assaulted?
No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room.
Takes a sip of her coffee and
A
smiles.
window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
Was there anything else?
There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable.
I think that's one of the start of the game dialogues, isn't it?
I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around 4 or 5. And that was it.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
I need to talk to her about her room.
Yeah?
Where does the mystery door point to?
I have no idea, officer.
I hate to say it, but you've got sad all over the place.
Yeah. I've contaminated it pretty bad.
Is that why you're out here?
The contamination spreads from room to room. First, I escaped upstairs. The sad got that too. Then I found the handle for the summer door.
What's the nature of the contamination?
For me, it's a mix of me with a lack of cleaning services. How about you?
Just general badness, I think.
Talk around the establishment is, you have an industrial sad spill in there.
I hate objects. I am part of the anti-object task force.
That's pretty hardcore. I'm part of the anti-human task force myself.
You know, that does, whether sarcastic or not, that does track with my theory. I don't want to talk about her drugs.
All right.
That was weirdly loud. How are you not done yet? 19 minutes. Do I have another thing to do? Wash off the death smell, but I can't really do that. I mean, in order to do that, I have to spend like $20. Demolition, you're saying day 5 is the last day? Wonder if it's worth it to spend $20 so I can wash off the death smell. It's probably not, right? The game really doesn't seem to care about the death smell. So annoyed about this helmet. So annoyed. I mean, I guess I might as well read another case file, huh? I'm gonna do a save, though, because I don't trust nothing. Read or die. Not this one, this one. Oh, I can interact with the white envelope? Can I forge it?
You take the legal documents out of the envelope.
Oh,
a 12
no.
to 40-month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum.
Look at the zoning plan.
The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall.
Oh, I'm so very dumb. I can't pass this check at all. What's the most logic I can be? So these are logic. That's minus logic. I mean, this is logic. Huh. It's kind of a lot of logic. No, what I need is still in here, huh? Interact. letter.
You take
Interact.
the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40-month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum.
Sure.
There is no loophole. The simple truth is, the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door.
What are the ramifications of this?
Once the construction starts, it'll probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out.
4 tens of cakes. What do I do about it?
Well, you could trick Everard. Get some random people to sign the document. By the time the union boss finds out, your business here will be already concluded.
I mean, that's more or less what I wanted to do. How do I determine what people to randomly do that? Hey, lady, will you sign this document?
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is.
That's fair. God, I don't know what to do about that. How much longer does it take you? Forever. 18 minutes. I can pass enough time. If I read a case file, that still works, I think, right? I should actually just probably, just in case I somehow break this. I rolled a 12 on that, and I really wanted that information, so I'm just gonna save having done that. Just in case. And then... I mean, my outfit is, like, horrendous. Let me, well, no, I probably shouldn't try to break the door open without Kim here. Probably. So let me just, like, put on some regular suggestion, perception, nonsense. And my superstar sunglasses, of course. And then interact with ye old ledger.
The ledger you found in the oh, and an incredibly cool piece of kitchen tissue. It
Create
takes
a
about
file.
half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised.
Square bullet holes.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
But?
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
A sequence killer?
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day.
Did I finish my thought?
Not much has changed in the meantime.
Did I finish my thought? Did I finish my thought? That wasn't a half hour. 1 minute. Just shoot me. Just end me.
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
Can I pass time by asking something I've already asked?
She looks at the dried petals in your palm, then lightly touches one with her fingernail. Chipped white polish covers the nail. It's long and sharp, like a mini dagger.
Pretty. Looks like a dried maybell. Is that the one you caught?
Sudden change of topic!
All right. I like it sudden.
It didn't do anything. I just want to pass 1 minute. I mean, I suppose at the end of the day... No, I really do just want to pass 1 minute. Because, like, I have thoughts that are small enough that if I, like, save a little bit of buffer time, I can, like, burn through them before I have to go to bed, I think. What's the cutoff time for time to stop passing?
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
She looks at chipped white polish.
Pretty.
Sampo is a new one. Pass a minute.
Sir. Is that it?
Why was it there?
Why was there a flower on the roof? I don't know, officer. Because of the wind?
or an admirer?
Say nothing.
She watches you pocket the petals, then closes her eyes as she breathes in the cigarette fumes.
God, that was exhausting. Thought.
Wasteland of reality.
How bad is it?
Congrats, you're sober. It will take a while for your body to remember how to metabolize anything that isn't sugar from alcohol. So you're going to be pretty ravenous soon. Eat plenty. You can expect your coordination and balance to improve in a couple of weeks. In 2 months, you might start sleeping like a normal person. Full recovery will take years though. It'll be depressing, and it'll be boring. Don't expect any further rewards or hand claps. This is how normal people are all the time.
-1 physical instrument, -1 inland empire, -1 suggestion, +1 psyche. Doesn't that negate 2 of the -1s? If I'm interpreting that correctly, that's actually not that bad. I don't know if that does anything for the story or anything. Now literally never drink. I mean, I wasn't even planning on it. Alright, what's the shortest thing that I care about? I do kind of care about this. Current time is... I got time for that. +1 interfacing. I mean, that's not gonna matter. Oh, I need thought slots. Thought slots! Unlock thought slots! I still have 6. Yeah, I've been busy. Alright, this one feels important to me, to, like, the quest that I really want to do, so I'm gonna prioritize this. Let me... I shouldn't need to do anything up here, because when I do this door, I want Kim to be with me. So I'm gonna go by the bench, I think? I suppose I should probably just, like, warp to home. I hate it in this wretched room. So... I don't think there's any reason... I guess I could just stay by the bench because it's relatively convenient. In case I want to, like, pass time that way, because I'm running low on case files. Not that, like, you could just read case files again. It's not a big deal. At least as far as I can tell. Oh, I should remember to open that compartment, too.
A cabbage of papers hang... Oh, and an incredibly cool piece of kitchen tissue. It takes
Read
about
case
half an
file.
hour to
The last
murder.
one.
Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead.
Tam.
Of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
How?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner JM, only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Right, the murder at the hookah parlor.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Is he a good cop?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard.
Oh, dear.
Really rapey.
Oh,
Still,
dear.
he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about.
Go on.
Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Stupid.
Yeah. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer.
Skeptical.
No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Table's low, heavy, really sharp edge.
He sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, and hit his head on the table and died?
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
What was he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was murder at the hookah parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next.
GG.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
I'm gonna open this.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know,
slide the drawer open.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Oh my god, 3. Wow. That's a mood. I feel like I understand the implications of this and I get it, but yikes. Hold on a second. I gotta close this because I have to have my thought, and then start a new thought, and then start this process again.
It's slightly, ever so slightly, difficult to breathe once you've done so. The drawer is locked. Blue ink drips from the white pages in your hand.
Man, it really wants to give you an out to that. It's gotta be really bad. Hold on, though. Give me a second. No, I probably want to do it this way, right?
Arno van Eyck.
What you got?
Okay, so Egghead is clearly not Van Eyck in disguise. Van Eyck is an Oranese disc jockey, but those people get around, especially in Revachol, in the clubs on Boogie Street. Perhaps he stayed here for a short stint and discarded part of the song he was working on, just threw it away, and then it ended up in the hawthorn tree. But why? Did he think it was retrograde? It wasn't. Perhaps he caught a glimpse of the future and did not want for it to arrive just yet. Perhaps the city whispered the top line to him, and he was frightened by it.
All Motorix weight checks unlocked. Feels Arno van Eyck gig posters in the world. Did I have any Motorix checks I cared about? I don't know what What? I don't know. What? I feel like Fairweather's the thing I want to start in the morning. Do I have enough time for the Wompty Dumpty Dom Center? Sorta. Unlock. Let's just do it. How long is that one? 42 minutes. I suppose the next thing to do is continue my quest to just brutalize my own sanity. Which sounds
It's
remarkably
the letter you
familiar.
found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell. Oh, and an incredibly cool piece of
Slide the hidden
without
drawer.
resistance or sound. The two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. Inside, you see 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Pick up the stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
That's so cute. Whatever's about to happen is going to be horrible.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Smell it.
It smells of chewing gum. Apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon. The end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
Open it and have your face melted like the Ark of the Covenant.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters. In a woman's hand. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
But it'll make me happy.
A merciful wind blows in from the bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far away. You feel the card slipping into it.
Let's go.
No. Read the card.
Your hands shake, holding onto it. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Keep reading.
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand.
What?
No. Hold on.
Hold
To
on.
what? There's nothing.
Oh, you got me there. Um?
There is nothing. Again.
Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout.
Okay.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion, Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
No, I was cool. I'm cool.
The cool when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow.
The shadow knows.
Because it's always there.
Cool, I got a new thought. So I guess I didn't die.
Tell him. Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so. But as they say, what do you do?
Smelled so nice.
It didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
Where is Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
Is that the X something?
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it sounded cool.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
This implies that my name is Harry.
Your name is fuck all.
That actually sounds accurate.
It certainly ain't Harry.
What is it?
Your name is passed out on the ground, dragged around by one of the other evil apes. They're taking you somewhere.
That sounds bad.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What's happening?
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And it's...
Apricot chewing gum?
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket, the air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
Drink.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself, as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
There's like a little unintended narrative here that I really like, that this all happened like right after I got sober, and then I like decided to confront the past because I felt like I was strong enough, and then I had to be rescued by Kim because I still wasn't, and he's like, you can't survive on alcohol, and then I kind of want to be like, I'm good. I'm actually more of a magnesium-based life form now.
That's just a drug addict myth. In reality, you're still comprised of dihydrogen oxide, which you must replenish to go on living.
Okay, then I'll drink.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
That's saying something. He does love this car.
What happened?
I should ask you the same.
There was a call on the shortwave. Officer passed out in Martinez. I had a feeling it would be you. I'm glad I got here in time.
How long was I out? The answer appears to be most of an hour. Or a little over an hour?
I don't know. It could have been quite a while.
I came in contact with the burnt-out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
It does sometimes happen.
Item gained, Ledger of Failure and Hatred. Boy, this game sure gets me on some level I'm uncomfortable with, huh?
I found this next to you. I'll tag along for the rest of the day, if you don't mind. My business is concluded anyway. Are you okay to go?
Let's do this!
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable
What?
and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Why is that true? Hold on, I'm having a thought.
Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center. You're at home, stupid cop. Not with the art crowd. You hate them. Everyone hates them. Even they hate themselves. It's nauseating. An industry built on sprezzatura and sparkling wine. And, let's be honest, tax evasion schemes. The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center is the heart of this unholy symbiosis of aesthetics and tax optimization. And now that you've internalized it,
yeah,
you
anyone
can
with a
have a
stream?
piece too.
What does that do for me? Encyclopedia passives give plus 10 experience and 2 real. Oh no! This is horrible! This is almost the inverse of whatever I would want. That's so bad. Holy crap. Man, remember when someone told me that, like, you shouldn't concern yourself with the research bonus of things because they typically don't reflect the ultimate yeah, no, this is horrible. Is there an option? Serious question. Is there an option to not accept? I don't think so, right? I think once you've done it, you have to do it, right? Anyone know? I don't know. Yeah? Boy, that is horrendous. Just waste another skill point because I'm not keeping that at all. I guess, frankly, it's breaking even because it allows me to put another thought in there. But it feels bad, you know? It feels bad. But I'm definitely not keeping -2 suggestion for a bonus to encyclopedia passives. That basically is just -2 suggestion, if we're being honest with ourselves. And that is, in fact, my key skill, and, go eat a fart video game. I mean, I could try to save scum that. I'll give that some consideration, I guess. It's probably time to end the stream, considering. Because the next question is, like, what thought do I start? And then I end this day, and then I start, like, a whole entire new day. So I think I just, like, save and consider whether I want to do that. And then, communally, we figure out what thought we want to do next. What are our options? What is the white morning? You see yourself from above. You're passed out on the blue tiles of the hostel room floor. Even from this distance, you can see your eyelids flutter at the mention of what? A great white object, letting out its sweet smell like the lily of the valley. The little man's forgotten its name, but he still remembers the feeling. And look, he moves. The feeling animates him. He instinctively reaches out for the feeling's best friend, a bottle of Commodore Red. He puts on disco clothes and gets smaller and smaller. I don't even have a vague sense of what this would do, but it sounds bad. It sounds like it unsobers me or something. Yeah, I think my plan stands. I think I'd save and maybe I might choose to save scum that because, like, it's just like there's truly no way for me to know in advance that a thought is going to, like, literally just be a -2 like, I'm not even mad about being sober, like, affecting my stats. That's all fine and good. Like, that felt like a relatively predictable outcome of that, and I'm fine with it. That feels appropriate. But, like, I was like, let me think about this building with a goofy name. And it's like, F you, I've reduced your main stat by 2 for no bonus. Like, that seems like that's beyond the scope of reasonable variance. That's punitive, and I don't think I deserve that. So let me... Let me save. And I guess let me just see what bonus I get from... So now I can interact from this menu, and... use it to give plus Inland Empire and empathy and minus authority. That's not great, but it's not terrible. I mean, I don't think I want it, but I feel like it's a reasonable trade. Anyway, wow, what a thankless evening of my life. How's everyone doing? I hope you are well. I am annoyed by several factors. I mostly enjoyed that, but good God almighty, I just hate all of the additional work that this game generates, and it doesn't really feel like it is worth it. I gotta mess around. There's a secret Squirtle. You can guess where it is if you want to. I think the way I'm gonna operate this is if you would like to guess where the Squirtle is, keeping in mind that this visible Squirtle is not the secret Squirtle. You can guess where it is, and then I'm just gonna reveal where the Squirtle is in a minute, and you can find out if you're right or not. Great. Let's do this. Since you two stuck around, I'll show you what's there. I'm just mad. I just hate everything. I definitely possess the binder of hatred and failure. Alright, here's our new Squirtle. Showed him off yesterday. Was propping up this tiny Winnie the Pooh who fell down when I picked him up. And this angry reversible octopus was concealing this tiny reversible narwhal. And the location of our Squirtle was behind our good friend Carlos the Crab and under Donut Cat. Is there something in the narwhal? No, but perhaps next time. I don't know how far the rabbit hole goes. It's reversible plushes all the way down. I think it is actually possible to get an even smaller reversible plush that could potentially fit inside of the narwhal. I think they do keychain ones now. I don't know how that works. Also, hi. Let's see if I can read this correctly. Yuri Pimenta Vasco? Hello, fellow Vasco. Ahoy. Regrettably, we are ending the stream. It's been a long night for me, and I got a long rest of my weekend ahead of me. If you're excited about Disco Elysium, we'll be picking up from probably roughly the start of day 5. Well, maybe next Saturday? Next weekend plans are sketchy, still. I looked into it as much as I could today and do not have better answers. It does sound like Friday is safe, though, so we'll be back next Friday with more Rain Code. I think there's a good chance, but not a guaranteed chance, that we continue this game next weekend. That may also be dependent on how horrific trying to post this video is, to be honest with you. And to that end, thanks everybody for watching, thanks for being here, thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. Whether that be sometime next weekend or in the future. Take care of yourselves and remember that you are colossal.